Hi guys, how's it going? Hello. This is me hosting for NotSoSpeedRuns. That's what you get.
What?
You get a weird wave.
So that's what Speedy looks like when he shaves his mustache.
Yeah.
Wow,
Seems
they're like
good.
the same person. This is so weird. Yeah, no, this is it, guys. We're hanging out, saying hello. I hope you guys are ready for the show.
Oh no!
4-hour show. We have a hard stop today.
6-hour show. I'm down for 6 hours.
Okay, well, we'll have to do it without an MC, because our MC will be leaving to go watch
We'll just do it
Avengers.
live.
Avengers, baby,
Yes.
Avengers.
Well, this is fantastic, guys. So anyway, let's just jump right in since we are on a time limit, which means that obviously we're going to fight against the apocalypse in this episode. So let's go round table as we usually do. I'm gonna start off with I think I'm gonna start off with McLoken, and then you can pass it on.
Right.
Ah! I
had this
I
really
know how to
important
pick the
my
right
name,
person.
and It was the worst
Perfect.
time. Hello, I'm McLoken. Today I'm playing Johnny. On to the next person.
You gotta
Hi,
pick
I'm
the next-
Volonda. I'm playing Sethanna. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Zippy. Henry's in jail, so I'll be playing Alfred.
Fantastic. Hi, I'm Morrigan. That's it. I'm not anybody else. I'm just Morrigan. On to
Okay.
you, Johnny. Thank
I'm
you.
seriously confused by how you guys just did all of that very quickly. I'm unprepared. Yeah. All right. Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm everything else.
Yes. That's fantastic. We are doing a one-shot today. This is not anything familiar to anybody because we've all never played together except for Morrigan and Johnny, so this should be fun. Sethanna and Alfred haven't played together either because Henry is not here. This is
All
great.
alone.
Yeah, this is going to be fantastic, guys. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know where to start us off, so I'm going to let Johnny do the honors of narration here. I'm the best host. Just want to put that out there.
What's Johnny?
Who, what?
Don't answer that. Don't answer that. It's a trap.
Okay. Well, I guess we're not going to do any announcements, which is good. So we'll just jump right into it. Previously on 6 and 20 Metropolis.
God damn it.
That's gonna be.
Not yet! We're not in character yet! Only Morrigan is Morrigan.
I was going to drop to Johnny's little storyline first. Absolutely. Johnny, having spent the summer occasionally working for Cal and but mostly working at the arcade and getting himself into trouble at the fighting rings, decides that he is going to follow two gray-suited individuals who appear to be causing some shenanigans, at which point we cut to a situation with Charlie, Sethanna, and Henry, where Henry is being, sought after, and so he's hiding in a bunker, and Sethanna and Charlie visit him and end up in a fight, which, as it coincides, happens to be where the two gray-suited individuals that Johnny was going after. After much shenanigans and some serious drama, we ended that last one shot with Henry going off to jail. Sethanna kind of left with the responsibility of his welfare at the behest of Mr. Gallows, and Johnny introducing Charlie to Malcolm, but having to basically run back to the arcade because one of the classic arcade machines was broken. So that really didn't happen, but we're going to say that anyways. Cut to Morrigan, who, in a desperate set of circumstances, is dealing with the disappearance and subsequently her finding Derek Roth, her detective friend, an individual from her past, somebody who's incredibly important to her. And so as we kind of saw last night over on Unmade Gaming's channel, One Shot, there was a fair bit of circumstance around what actually happened to Derek and how his current state of mind is. It was last night that we sort of faded out on Morrigan sort of dealing with the ramifications, having an opportunity to start exploring what comes next in trying to solve this illness that is Derek Roth. And we'll sort of fade in, to the next day after that.
Okay, Cool.
Morrigan, where are you? And what the Egg Shen left you saying he would be back in a couple of days to begin the power of the journey that is trying to figure out what's going on with Derek.
Yeah. I would probably have woken up, having fallen asleep next to Derek. I'm guessing he's not awake again yet, or he hasn't awoken again.
He had fits and starts through the night, but he was coherent.
Okay.
And he was able to at least acknowledge that you were there, but he is still incredibly drained and sort of, looks, incredibly tired no matter, every time he wakes up. He's very sleepy. The voice, the communication is very lethargic.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I would let him sleep. I'd give him a kiss on the forehead kind of lovingly, and then walk into the other room and start getting ready for the day. Check in with the physician that's coming in. Make updates to the code as necessary for the security, and then just kind of go about her general morning researching. At this point, she'd probably start looking a little bit more into the old quarters, specifically around the Victorian house that he mentioned, and try to find and dig up some details around maybe if he was talking about a real place or if it was part of, whatever he was going through in his mind.
So previously we had established that you did find him in the old quarter in this old Victorian.
Okay.
But because you kind of pulled him out of there, I don't think you spent much time sort of like looking at the circumstances of it. It was more about, bringing him back to that state of mind. Right. And so, as you begin to kind of look into the history of the Victorian house and the surrounding area inside of the old quarter, there's a fair bit that will come up about that in your research. And so you begin to do that, and we're going to cut over to Johnny, who is probably at Stormy still fixing classic arcade machines that for some reason seem to be exhibiting some really odd behavior of just breaking down.
Okay, yeah, I'd be doing that. But through the day that I had off from yesterday, I actually bought a new phone because it came into money somehow. Don't worry about it. Right, same number transferred over, but I had the other phone, my old phone, wiped, which is still pretty high up to date. And what I do is I take a pizza and I put the phone on top of it and make sure it's secured, face down with tape on it with a note. And I write to Malcolm, a note to Malcolm, be like, hey, here's your new phone. And I put the charger with it and everything and give him a phone. With
Malcolm's sugar daddy over here.
With the number, my number on it, and then whoever and everyone else's numbers if he needs to call them.
This is really dangerous. I'm afraid of what's going to happen. Thank you.
You're welcome. And so
I don't think he put it inside the box, right?
No.
Okay.
No, outside. That's why I taped it to the top of the box, and there's a note on it. It's very obvious.
Oh, okay.
And so and he has a phone charger with it, and so it's a burner phone. And then and so I would then go fixing arcade machines, and nothing unusual.
Okay. So as you're kind of progressing through the day, one of the things that keeps kind of nagging at you is the circumstances with which Henry Windsor turned himself in, and how Master Gallows had acknowledged the gravity of the situation of what had gone on, and it keeps nagging in your mind that he put Sethanna in charge of kind of digging into, to helping him heal. And then immediately he sort of, Henry has just sort of, kind of pushed himself in a different direction, by going to jail. So there's always there's that lingering sort of, well, this isn't quite what Gallows wanted kind of a situation.
Mm-hmm. Johnny doesn't know what to do. so to speak. I mean, like he's working on everything. Sethanna has his number, but
Right.
like the only thing he can think about doing is going to the R&R diner that he inhabits and sees, and he's not going to go in and eat. This is after like he fixes the arcade machines that need fixing, because it's Sunday, right? So he fixed up the machines that need to get fixed up. He's not too worried about anyone breaking anything else, because that's the way it goes. And if the gray suit men are inside, the ones that tail him, that if they're inside the R&R diner, if they're not, he's just gonna go on and probably text Sethanna if they're not there.
So you don't see them typically, right? It's occasional that you see them checking in and tracking you, but since you left Xanadu on Friday night, you haven't seen them since. Okay.
And I would look for the ones specifically hunting me, not anyone else, because they don't want to talk to me ever. I try to have I can get more leeway with the ones that are watching me, because they're watching me.
Right.
So, all right. So what I would do is then text Sethanna. What's going on?
Are you texting her or leaving her a voice message?
Yeah, how do you achieve this?
How did you just high pitch sound?
I'm sorry. That's how it sounds when you read the text.
It's in alternating caps and lowercase.
All right, I got it. That's how you text. Fine, cool.
Sethanna gets a text, I guess.
Yeah,
and we're going to cut to Sethanna. Sethanna, you are reeling from the consequences of Friday night and the situation that that Oscar had basically established with you to take charge of Henry, but Henry turned himself in. He's now being processed and behind bars. He won't be arraigned until Monday morning, and it's Sunday. So how is Sethanna dealing with that situation? How is she responding? Is she going straight to the drink, or is it something else?
Well, I assume that she can't get in to see him because she's not family. She doesn't know him, and he's not getting arraigned until Monday. So there's no way for her to get to him.
Well, remember that you had established a relationship with your company's lawyers to help him to mitigate the situation. And while he didn't take advantage of that during the previous time, if you wanted to go in and see him, that would be a way in. However, they are, because of the circumstances, it would require some work to get to that. It would require more time for you to actually get in. So it would be that kind of thing where you could just show up and say, "Hey, I'd like to go see Henry Windsor." You're not going to be able to see him. You're going to see something else.
Yeah, I think that she would brook no argument in getting the company's lawyers to help him out, to assist him in whatever it is he needs, and make arrangement for her to visit him at the first opportunity that comes up.
Okay.
Without forcing the issue too much, because as much as she wants to help him, she's also really freaked out. A lot has gone down. So for her, once she's done the practical part, she would probably be going to definitely be on a weekend binge, because I assume these events happen Friday night, right?
Those events did happen Friday night, and this is Sunday now.
Yeah, so if it's Sunday now, she'd probably be in a good part through the binge, because I assume that for sakes we won't be speaking to Henry. So, she would be drinking until she has to sober up to go talk to him.
All right, so where are you drinking, though? Where is this kind of happening?
Well, if she's planning a proper binge, she needs to be aware that she needs to eat things, otherwise she'll peter out too early. So she'd probably be, have gone to a place where she can eat and drink and keep that steady process going. Somewhere that's fairly safe. So either some sort of bar that serves food, or a restaurant which will serve her a lot of booze.
You could always show up at the junkyard.
I feel that might be a bad idea.
So is there another bar that you would then show up at?
Yeah. What other bars are around that's already established?
Well, there is Vintage Memories, Cal's favorite bar inside of the blue collar district. It happens to be right around the corner from him. But I would be careful because if you run into Cal there and he likes you, he might fuck you.
Yeah, sure.
That was established 2 days ago. That's why I'm suggesting.
I think he's predisposed not to like her because of the conversations they've been having through text messages.
Fair enough.
But she wouldn't know this, and if it's around the corner, because she also lives in the blue collar district. I think we said that already, hadn't we?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
I feel like that would make him more likely to, though. I just want to put that out there.
I'll risk it. Let's see what happens. Fuck it.
Risk it for that biscuit.
Sure, I'll go to wherever it is around the corner. Vintage Memories. I'll go. Why not?
Okay, so you head into Vintage Memories, and it's kind of a sort of a one of the neighborhood watering holes. It's a very kind of a comfortable place, and so you kind of find yourself there on Sunday when you receive this text from Johnny.
How's things going? Is that the text message you sent?
Yeah.
I'll text back. Well, I'm seeing double on my phone, so it's going great. And that's what I sent back.
What about Henry?
Oh, right, yeah. He's getting arraigned tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to see him then. He's in jail.
No. That's all literally he sends. Is he? Can he get out? What does the rain mean?
Well, I'm pretty...
Before it rains. Water falls from the sky.
Kind of means that he needs to go see a judge or something. I'm not in the text messages all over the place, just like barely understandable. Yeah, I'm not really. He's got to talk to some judge who'll set bail or tell him if he can get out, or I'm not really sure. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I might know someone.
Okay.
She works with the cops. I haven't talked to her in like a month though, because she's been, I don't know, not answering her phone call. But we might be able to get him off on a crazy charge.
Hell yeah, I'm in. Where are you?
Standing in front of the RR Diner.
Oh, I know that place. That place is great.
The blue collar district one. There's multiple ones. Here,
I'll find you.
At this address, and I like text her Morrigan's address.
I make my way over. I leave them a accidentally large tip, and then I leave.
Okay, so as you're getting up from the table, a figure sits across from you and engages you. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Albert.
Alfred.
Sorry, Alfred.
Is wearing a white button-up shirt, black tie, loosely hung around his neck, black slacks. He's a very hairy man of the age around 32. He looks over at Sethanna.
Table's all yours.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Hey, are you Sethanna Burke?
I turn around and look at him. He's like, yeah.
You know that Windsor kid, don't you?
Who are you?
Oh, Alfred McCoy.
Uh-huh. Gonna need a little bit more than that.
What do you want? My sign? I'm a Pisces. Let's see. I was born in the month of September on a dark summer, rainy night.
It would be a light rainy night, would it?
No, it would not be a light rainy night. You're absolutely correct.
And I think I'm correct in saying I'm not going to answer any questions that could get me into trouble. So you can talk to my lawyer.
Oh, lawyer up so soon. I haven't even charged you with anything.
And that's why I'm not answering any questions, G-Man.
He slips his gold detective shield onto the bar. I actually think you are going to be answering some questions.
I don't know if you can ask me those questions while I'm in this state.
I mean, I could probably just bring you in on being drunk and disorderly. He kind of like sniffs the air. He's
Looks around the bar.
You smell rather marinated.
You are not wrong, sir. But I have not caused any disturbances.
You're right, but you're a danger to yourself as well as other people if you walk home. So you know what? How about I escort you?
I'm gonna go meet a person.
Okay.
So lay down on the line what it is you want, or I'm going to leave. So I don't think you have any grounds in taking me.
I just
I'm taking a taxi home.
You're absolutely right. I just want to know your connection with Mr. Windsor. I mean,
I know him.
I'm following up on some questions that you had with the detective, Catherine Devereaux.
Oh yeah, Detective Devereaux. I remember her.
Something about him being tossed out of a car in front of your apartment building.
Yep.
Okay, some stuff just doesn't add up with any of that.
I know, and I'm still terrified for my life.
I know. That's why I would like to bring you in so we can talk about maybe some police protection.
You lean forward. Police protection, huh? A month and a half after the incident.
You know, we'd have to vet everything, you know, and we have grounds to believe that you are in serious danger, Miss Burke.
From who?
Oh, from Mr. Windsor himself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he not only has he been brought in on assault of police officers, stealing evidence, attempted manslaughter. Actually, I think they found those two reporters dead.
That would make it manslaughter.
Mm-hmm. And various other things.
All right, so why do you think I'm in danger from him?
Because you know him.
I'm pretty sure his mailman knows him too. Are you gonna take him in?
I like I said, Ms. Burke, we just need you down at the station.
Are you charging me?
No, I don't have to charge you if I'm asking you in for questioning.
Uh-huh, but you can't hold me.
You're right.
And if you are offering protection right now, I'm gonna decline.
Very well, Ms. Burke. I'll see you later.
Put my hand out to him.
He shakes your hand, and as he shakes your hand, he kind of sniffs the air around you. I'll be seeing you real soon.
Can I, now I have his hand, could I use sense armaments on him to see what kind of weaponry he has on him? Or
Sense
armaments? Yep, it was the replacement for, it was either Tale from the Dead or Speak with the Dead or something.
I'm surprised you're not. Okay, that's not what I expected you to use. I mean, that's more why I was asking the question. But okay, you are more than welcome.
I don't want to cripple him with grief yet. I barely know the guy.
Well, you could sense his grief at least. I mean, you might get a sense of who he is or what's going on by that. But sure, all right, let's go with.
I told you he's a little wasted. This is the end of a weekend binge.
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right. So yeah, I wanna sense what kind of weaponry the dude has on him, or other types of armament, like horrible big ass teeth that will eat me, whatever. I'm wasted beyond belief, so I'm gonna assume Ollie's hip flask.
Okay.
Drinking hall because people are drinking here. At least I am.
Absolutely. I could technically see conflict because you were not interested in what he was doing, but this is not an armed conflict or a fight of any kind, so...
I'd say conflict, but tick on not on a battlefield. There's a weakness. Okay. I think both of those apply.
All right, sounds good.
I don't think anything else makes sense right here.
All right.
So I guess that's investigate.
She would ask me questions and I'd answer them.
Okay, so it will be an investigate, and I like the idea of that. Here's the deal. You can only ask things that require Alfred not to actually respond verbally to you.
Okay, so I'll be very specific in the kind of...
Yeah, like you would get a sense of him. There would be things that you would get a sense of, but if it was a question that he couldn't answer, like, I mean, he would have to tell you his backstory or something about his history. It would only be characteristics that you can derive from this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And depending upon the role, then we can also talk about whether they're vague or very specific kind of thing.
Okay. I am way too wasted.
I have 2 guns. One for
One for each of you. I have 2 up my sleeve and 1 in my pant leg.
So let me hold on just 1 second before I decide what the hard move is. I'm going to look at Alfred's character sheet because I want to see if there's something that can fix this. All right, Alfred, because you have the power tag, animal instincts. Tell me what the hard move is. How do you get a sense of what Sethanna is actually trying to do, and how do you respond to it? And I'm giving you free reign on this one.
Sethanna, how does this power take form? Like what happens?
She essentially gets that kind of like, if like you're walking down the street and someone is right behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though if you can't hear them, you just get that in the back of your neck, that something is about to just happen, those instinctual things. As she grabs your arm, she kind of gets that hair on the back of the neck feel, so she'll know what about you is dangerous, like whether you have a gun on you and you're about to like pick it up and shoot her in the leg, or if you have, for example, really long talons, so she should pull her arm away from your hand, that kind of thing.
So it takes the form of like fight or flight.
Yes.
A little bit of fear. Okay, so he smells your fear, and he kind of looks at you, and he places a hand on the back of your hand. It's all right. I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to talk. Honest.
Talk as a cop? Or talk as a friend of mine calls it, a champion?
I have no idea what you're talking about, miss. I'm just your everyday homicide detective.
And I am an everyday personal assistant.
Good. You know what? How about this? And he reaches in, pulls out his card, he hands it to her. If you just ever want to talk about anything, we don't have to really talk about Henry Windsor. We can talk about, well, anything really.
Are you giving me your number?
Ma'am, and he like raises his left hand and he points to the gold ring around his finger. I'm happily married. And he pulls out his wallet and he flips it down. He has the 8 laminated folds. This is my loving wife. Oh, look at this. This right here, that's my beautiful daughter. Her name's Fiona. Fiona, oh man, she's such a fucking jewel. And there's Fiona again. That's when I got her the big play school big wheel. Yeah. What am I talking about? You need to get going, right? And he kind of like folds back up and places the wallet back into his pocket. You know what? You hold on to that, and I'll see you later.
Probably will.
Okay.
She gets up.
All right.
And she walks back out.
You walk out and head towards the R&R, I suspect.
Yeah. However, I want to make sure he's not following me.
I hope you're not going to the R&R, since Johnny gave you an address to go somewhere else.
Oh, you know what I mean.
He
has an address.
No, I was specifically asking the R&R because Sethanna is drunk, and I wanted to see if she...
Yes, I'm going to the R&R.
Fuck it, yeah. I'll go to the R&R and then realise that this is not where I'm meant to be. But I want to make sure that this cop, whoever that he is, isn't following me. So I just want to look around, just keep an eye out, take a moment, probably miss it.
He probably walk out as soon as you walked out, and you look over your shoulder. He kind of makes eye contact with you, and he waves, turns and walks, and then walks down the alleyway.
So far as she's concerned, she's not being followed anymore. Then that's good. Yeah, she'll go to the R&R first, and then she'll go to the address.
As he walks down the alleyway, he is going to use his powers to shapeshift into a wolf, and he's going to follow her scent. That's how he collected it with the sniffing.
In some myths, Valkyries ride wolves. I'm just giving you that.
I did not know that, actually. I only thought they rode horses and Pegasi, but all right.
Some of them, they ride wolves.
And you know what? My brain just went to Cal yet again, and it just got even worse.
Because it's Thursday and Cal's
It's Thursday! We'll continue that cow tradition without you, my friend.
All right, so we're going to cut to Sethanna. You eventually end up at Morrigan's building, and you're kind of outside waiting for Johnny, or you're told to go. Did you text her the actual apartment number, or the level and or the yeah?
No, I just text her the building, and then
Okay.
I'm waiting outside.
And you see her kind of stumbling up drunk.
Oh, stumbling.
Luckily, before he left to the R&R diner, he has a giant greasy burger. And he's like, all right, eat that.
No, you got it. I ate. I'm good for a few hours yet. Pacing, yo.
Did you eat fermented grapes?
Well, not wrong, but it's whatever goes into whiskey. I personally don't know, but she would. So she bore him with the details of what goes into a whiskey.
And then he just like takes the burger and starts eating. And he's like, come on. And then he's like walking into the stairs. And then he gets to the front of the door with the biometric scanner and all that kind of stuff.
Johnny hasn't been here since over a month ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the consulting side, like the therapy sign, like the whole business practice stuff is like removed or covered. It doesn't look like it used to at all. And that the biometric scanner has now also a security pin code lock.
Okay. So one thing, does Johnny doesn't know about Detective Roth, right?
I mean, you know that he went missing, probably, but I don't know.
I don't know. It depends. Because your character got the text, would she have told us?
No.
Okay.
We didn't quite establish that part of it, other than I believe Morrigan said that she made her goodbyes with the three of you and then went on her way.
Yeah.
So
I'd be like, all right, yeah, just hold on. And I text Morrigan, hey, what's up?
She already got a security alert on her phone that there was somebody at the door, and there's a camera outside of it looking at you. And she responds, "What do you want, Johnny?"
Open the door.
Is Sethanna obviously upstairs with Johnny, or did she?
Oh, yeah.
Who's the person with you?
That's Sethanna Burke.
And she puts just a question mark.
Don't you remember the ledger?
Oh, right. Is anybody else there?
No.
Hang on. And she takes about a minute and then opens the door, and she doesn't look like the Morrigan you remember. Aside from her hair and generally makeup, she's wearing super chill at home clothing, sweatpants, and a plaid shirt. Hi, Johnny.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Where's your fancy dress?
I don't really. Is this like a fashion police thing?
Come
Inside. Just come inside. I don't like having the door open.
Okay, come on.
And she like closes the door, and you hear the like electronic locks go off. Sethanna, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're
Morrigan.
Morrigan.
That lady I
Right.
talked about, what, 2 days ago? She was
Right, right.
What's exactly? What do you need, Johnny?
So, and then what's obvious in the room currently?
Oh,
is Detective Roth right there.
No. So, the last time you were here, this looked like an actual office. This now looks like a makeshift loft studio style apartment. There's couches that have been pushed together as like a bed kind of deal. There's like pillows and blankets on it. Her desk is still fairly organized itself. That's probably the only thing that's really like fully organized. It's got her computer and everything else on it, but there's manila folders all over the place that have been either closed or sealed or left open, and there's just paperwork. The kitchen is still fully stocked. It's very obvious to you that she's living here.
Yeah.
And the other rooms are locked and also have increased security locks as well.
He looks around and he's like, what happened in the past month?
That's a really long story. I'm very precautious right now with...
That's a really good idea. There's so much weird stuff going on right now.
That's true. And also, remember the whole serial killer on the loose, Johnny? Yeah. That
Well, you got him.
Did I catch him? No.
I'm sorry. Who are you?
My name is Morrigan.
I got that.
Yep.
She does psychology stuff. Sometimes the cops hire her when there's serial killers, or if there's like a large murder and there's survivors, she talks to them.
I do criminal profiling and psychiatry.
Oh, see, that's a lot easier for me to understand.
Yada yada yada. So okay, what happened to your practice though?
I shut it down. I'm on a hiatus right now. I transferred my patients to other therapists.
Oh, okay. Well, are you still talking to Roth?
Oh, what?
Detective Roth.
Oh, okay. I thought I said Roz.
Stuff happened with Derek, and he is here under my care with another physician. That's the short version.
What?
He was taken by Bishop, and I found him, but he is not in good health right now.
As in, like, about to... I'm sorry, that's really rude. Blunt.
No, he's not gonna die. There's something keeping him alive.
Oh. That's no offense, that's not right.
No.
I know people who can heal. Sorta.
I already gone down those roads. I'm waiting on more information on an alternative method of resolving the situation.
Well, the gray suit guys, apparently they're they don't work for Anatoly anymore.
Nope, they're apparently working to deal with all the chaos that's come from people like...
They're
Not
like
just Johnny.
superhero police.
Okay, well, I dealt with a rather large grouping of them yesterday. Long story short, I finally met Malcolm. I also met Charlie yesterday.
I know Charlie!
And JP.
I don't know JP.
I know of JP.
Really nice guy. Very sweet. A little in over his head, but it's okay. He'll figure it out. I have confidence in that. However, things are a lot more complicated than I really need right now, given everything else that I'm trying to do. But it seems... what was that?
So I came here to kind of ask you about something. So do you remember Henry Windsor?
I vaguely recall something on the news about him. But I
So-
honestly have not had time to really care much about what's going on.
So the gray suit people were after him, and then he talked to Mr. Gallows, and apparently the conversation he took from Mr. Gallows was, "I'm going to turn myself into the police." He was living in a bunker for a long time, but we're wondering if we can get him out of jail.
Does he have an attorney?
Yep, my company are dealing with that.
And has he actually confessed to the crimes that he's being...
I don't know. They won't talk to me about it, and I can't get to see him right now.
If he's confessed already, there's really not much you can do for him legally, and I'm really not in a position to break somebody out of jail right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can make him play insanity.
That's if he's insane.
I mean, he's not insane.
If he is
he has
clinically
some...
insane, then I can say that, but I'd have to go through a full evaluation, and then there would be another physician that would have to be present.
That he'd end up being put in a hospital or something, wouldn't he?
Yes,
So
most
it'd be
likely.
but worse.
Yeah, the asylum, which I don't know what's happening now with that, but I know that the what's the thing Cal's doing again? The
Walker Foundation.
That place, the Walker Foundation, has assisted in that area as well. So
So just for a little bit of backstory on for Morgan's indirect involvement there, Cal would have been trying to reach out to you repeatedly to come work for the Walker Foundation.
Gotcha.
And you were just basically ignoring that given the circumstances.
Yeah. So, okay, what I can't do, I'm not going to go and tell the police that somebody is clinically insane if they're not, and I'm not breaking anybody out of jail. Do you not just want to let the justice system do its thing?
I don't know.
I mean, do you feel like he is in peril? Like, is there somebody after him?
The gray suits are after him because they clean up after chaotic things. I think people like... I'm sorry, I'm assuming you're a champion like we are. Are you?
A champion?
Superhero.
I have abilities beyond normal means. Yes, sure. Let's...
Awesome. So these gray suit guys clean up after when we go to public. I don't know, we cause chaos or something. And now they're after him because he let whatever he is take over and he completely lost control of the situation and didn't think things through. But it doesn't mean he's not a good guy somewhere deep down inside that if he just pulled his head out of his ass for a while.
Okay, so hold on. With the gray suits, when I was infiltrating that group,
What?
They were reporting to Vidalis, and that's not the case anymore.
No. So
But wait, you infiltrated the gray suit guys?
Briefly, for just enough information to make sure Johnny was okay.
I'm gonna throw what to me might be a really dumb question. You're not gray suit guy? They all look the same?
Right.
How did you do that?
Oh,
it's like super easy for me to do stuff like that.
Okay.
I mean, like, if you need a mirror today, just let me know, kind of deal.
Oh, I do not need a mirror. That's the worst thing I need right now.
Right. So
double vision.
I got that all the time, baby. It's great. Carry on.
Okay. So, they don't work for Anatoly anymore. Ever since, actually, okay. So, since Cal has taken over, the Walker Foundation, I don't know if you've noticed this, but people don't notice us as much anymore. So I followed a couple of them, and interrogated them, and they tried to wipe my mind, but it didn't work. So that long story short, they're following people with powers. And then I took one of their phones and followed them to the park. And I thought they were going after Cal because I thought Cal was in there, and I thought they were going after him because of Sable's hit list and all that kind of stuff. Oh, she killed Sable. So
that was not me, but
well,
I may have been responsible.
That was Henry, who's in jail. So
Right.
So as things go, she was present. So as things go along, I thought they were attacking Cal because there was like a lot of them, and I started beating the crap out of all of them. And then these guys showed up and started fighting them. Henry's like Spider-Man, but with vines, so I call him Spider-Vine. And then she's Lady Zeus. And then the other one is Devil Lady. That's Charlie because she's blind. So and when we had to run into the forest to get away from him.
Okay, so hold on.
Yeah, that was a bit fast for me too. I was there.
I can't get Henry out of prison, so that's just not a option. I can go and interview him and do a profile for the police if they requested, or I can nudge that they requested, but I can't really interject myself in the case as it's not, I haven't been called on, and I have other priorities right now. However, if you're talking about these gray suit men and maybe dealing with them somehow, I might be interested because honestly, every single time I step outside this freaking building, I have to deal with them some way. So
wait, are you being followed by them like
I'm not sure.
No. You're not chaotic.
I mean, I haven't done anything recently that would instill the desire for them to do this, but I happen to constantly be around people that are being pursued by them. So inevitably,
I have exactly the same circumstances. It's really weird.
It's kind of inconvenient. Not
well,
lie.
Thank you for laying the options on the line. I didn't really want him to be put away insane because there's still hope, I think, to help him. I mean, we just have to be really smart legally about this, I think. But
yeah, I mean, if you can get your attorneys to pull some favors, they might be more lenient on him. Maybe give him parole, and then you guys can figure something out. But I don't see if he confesses to significant crimes, he's not gonna. I mean, I'm not an attorney, but I've dealt with the police enough to know that the moment he confesses, there's only so much that you can do.
I get that.
So.
Well, why don't you do the psych profile on him?
I can put in a request, but the only person that I really have over there right now is Catherine, and she's still dealing with a lot of other stuff right now. So.
You said that you're preoccupied, and all of this thing you've been doing has been shut down? Or you're shutting it down? Why?
I shut down my practice so I could focus on bringing in Arthur Bishop and helping cure Derek. I don't have time for patients. Everything I do every day is surrounding the case.
I put my hand out to her. This Derek person.
Mm-hmm.
Someone you care about?
That's implied, yes.
Is he what? Family? A loved one? Someone you owe?
All of the above.
Huh. Is there anything I can do to help? I know people who can heal. I know someone has a flask that if you're in trouble, might be able to heal them.
Yeah, that's unfortunately not gonna work. I brought a healer here yesterday, and he's working on some potential routes for us to pursue, but long story short, the person that did this to him has to die, but if he dies, then Derek dies, and so I can't really do that. Otherwise, this whole problem would be solved in no time at all. So it's unless you know something about balance and strange symbols, I don't think that you can help too much.
I know a lot about death. No, right now, that's all I can offer. But
What strange symbols?
Well, the symbols are. There's only one symbol now, but it was. I don't even know how to describe. I don't want to wake him, so that's why I'm not having you see him. When he's awake, he just doesn't have any energy. Something is draining him, and it's got to do with his tie to this whole thing. I don't know. Anyway, what else can we do here exactly? What else can I do for you?
You get a little alert, Morrigan, that he's starting to stir in the next room.
Hang on. I'll be right back. Just help yourselves to some food, drink, whatever you need.
Okay.
And so as you step into the other room, he's woken up just a little bit, and he's kind of groggy and kind of looking around.
Hey, do you need something? Some water, maybe?
I heard voices.
Yeah, some old colleagues came to visit. If they're disturbing you, I can tell them to leave.
No. It's like I can hear one of them a little bit more clearly than the other.
Male or female voice?
She sounds drunk.
Female. Okay. She is.
It's kind of weird. I feel like I've heard her voice before.
Do you want to talk to her?
And you see him just make this exaggerated sort of like heave and sigh. Yeah, maybe, but just to stay with me when she's here.
Of course. Sethanna, could you come in here for a minute?
Sure. I put down whatever bottle of booze I was drinking out of your cupboard.
Johnny has a Dagwood like over, and he's, well, I guess I'll sit here.
Sorry. I walk in there. What do I see?
You see a bedroom that has also had a lot of medical equipment being brought in, and some of it's rigged up to Derek, who's in the bed, and Morrigan standing next to him.
I put my booze back in my pocket. What can I do for you?
Derek, this is Sethanna.
Hi.
He looks over. He kind of looks from Morrigan and looks over at Sethanna, and he's clearly very drained and emaciated. But for Sethanna, what she sees, even through the drunken haze, is she sees a brave warrior, someone who was wounded on the battlefield, and clearly he is slowly slipping, right? And it's not just like his wounds. You can see that his will is slipping. And just so as he kind of gazes over at you, you get all these flashes real quick, and he kind of looks up and says, I feel like I've heard your voice before, but I'm not.
I get that a lot.
Who are you?
I'm gonna go over and sit on the edge of the bed and take one of his hands in between both of mine. I'm Sethanna. I help people go to where they need to go to, and I keep them here so they can be better fighters, but you look like you're ready to move on. What's going on?
And he looks over at Morrigan, and just, it's an exchange of emotional guilt when Sethanna says, "You look like you're ready to move on." And he looks over at Morrigan, and then he looks back over to Sethanna, and he says, "Not yet. I'm not done yet."
Okay. What do you still need to do? Because you look too sick. You're too wounded right now.
I feel like I can't think. I feel like I can't focus.
I look at them both. Do you know what caused this? What this is at all?
She looks at Derek, like motioning like she's going to show the marks, and waits for him if he's okay with it.
He kind of leans back. You can see that he's leaning farther back into bed, giving her access to the side of the hospital gown, so he can pull back. She can pull it back.
And she pulls down, and it's a tattoo on his chest. It was different before yesterday, and it became this.
What does it look like?
It says in, it says one word, and then there is an icon. There's a piece of iconography sort of at the end. The word says balance, and it's sort of tattooed on his chest. I mean, it's full on like tattooed. However, given the description that she just gave you previously, it was cryptic, and when she describes it, it's this sort of very unusual language that she took pictures of. If she could show you at that point. But the symbol at the end, then she conveys to you. She was told by Egg Shen that it meant scales, and that in the context of the word and the scales, this was about an accounting of some sort or a reckoning.
Uh-oh. I think you're right. I don't think you're done yet. There's something perhaps you still have to do. What is it? Or is it you can't focus enough to tell me?
I can't. It's like every time I have a thought, a real, not just speaking, and every time I have a thought, it's like it's slipping away.
I want to try something odd.
Every time you say that, I get a little worried, and I'm a little more worried than when Johnny says, "I'm going to do this."
No comment.
I want to try and mix shared grief and impenetrable mind. I
Okay.
want to be able to take some of that confusion from him and return back some of the clarity that she has from withstanding psychic attacks, so he has time to talk to Morrigan.
Okay. I think that actually is an interesting. That was not what I was expecting you to do. That's an interesting solution or an interesting approach to a role here. So let's go ahead and go with that. Is that a change to the game, or is it a take a risk?
I think honestly, I think it's a risk for her, but I think it's changing the game for Morrigan. Because she has a chance to talk to this person that I assume she cares very much for. So I will take it down with you, boss. What do you think would be?
So take a risk is very binary, and it gives us a lot more room to kind of explore. The mechanic of change the game is really about affecting Morrigan's ability to communicate and the story tags or the status tags that you can create for Derek in that case. really is ultimately, where do you feel more comfortable doing it? I mean, do you feel like it just being a binary sort of thing and we just kind of narrate it, or do you want some mechanical element to be able to have some real distinct control?
I'm happy with letting it roll, letting it go with story, rather than putting mechanics on it.
Okay.
Because I'm happy just let it go through. Okay.
All right.
Okay. 1, I'm exceptionally drunk. I know it's a normally thing, but she is on an epic binge, so I'm gonna click Ollie's flask in. I'm going to click in shared grief. I'm not on a battlefield, so that's going to be a negative. I'm going to put impenetrable mind in because that makes sense. And I think ties of fortune because I'm literally changing the way that he is right now to something more beneficial on the battlefield, so to speak. Is there anything else you think I should take off?
I don't think so. I think you're good at this point.
Yeah. I know normally guilt is a thing, but I don't think that really applies here.
No. And so there's only so much. So typically I would just throw in a story tag, kind of a negative here, because of his state of, his current state, but there's so much more story to that than just that. I'm okay with just not saying that there's a story tag negative, because you're not going to be able to do much beyond the idea of giving him moments of clarity at this point, or, yeah. So.
Okay. Oh, I want this to work. I'm really doing this.
I wonder what's going to happen if it fails.
This roll than anything else. I know that's
you can
my worry.
do it. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what this means. I have quality matters, which means core moves made with Ollie's hip flask are dynamite. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's a thing I've got written down.
So the core move for take a risk should have some details about that in the book. If you want to go ahead and look that up, or we can just roll with it and say that it works incredibly well and gives him some clarity for the time being, and then we can talk about it off screen or okay. All right. So describe the actual element of this that gives him clarity. Describe what, narrate us into that moment.
She's going to take one hand of his in hers and put the other hands on the side of his face, but the side opposite from where Morrigan is. And she's going to close her eyes and she's going to sense all the confusion and all the pain. And she's going to reach through into his mind and take that confusion almost like a cloud and just breathe it in. So it kind of transfers from her, just every breath in that she takes clears it a little bit more. But she kind of feels that tickling in the back of her throat, like she's going to have to cough this back out at some point. But for now, she's fighting it through.
All right. Because of the way that you describe that, I'm going to describe to you, when you cough it out, what's actually going on there.
Okay.
It's going to get interesting.
Oh boy.
So,
I'm curious. This is great.
So you begin to breathe in this kind of thing, and as this happens, you see Derek's face change a little bit. That weary sort of tiredness, that withdrawn nature, that clouded behavior, that the look in his eyes, it clears up. His eyes become less glassy and less sort of faded, and they come into focus, and you see the facial structure go from a little bit too slack to beginning to resemble a little bit more of the Derek that you know. And as you're doing this, Sethanna, and you're kind of taking this all in, you're getting some visions of where he's trapped in, what's going on. And as you kind of take it all in and you kind of hold it, Derek just kind of blinks and he reaches out for Morrigan.
And take his hand.
He's really angry with you.
Bishop?
I remember some of the things that he did. And he slowly pulls his hand and he reaches to his chest. That's, and the tattoo is sort of still exposed. And he kind of runs his hands along it. This isn't the only mark he left.
What happened?
I only get moments of remembering it, but because there were drugs and there were other things and there were noises. He sounded like an animal or a monster, something out of a horror movie. He tied me up and he lashed me to a table, and he wrote this on me first, and then he wrote other things. Did I have any other tattoos on my body?
Not that the physicians found.
I don't
Do you
know.
remember where?
Along one of my legs, both my arms, and then I think on my back somewhere. Are you sure there's nothing there?
I'll check again. And she's gonna like look for anything on his legs first.
You don't find anything at all. There's not a mark. There are no blemishes on his skin. Nothing seems to indicate that he was affected in any way.
What about his arms?
Same.
Okay, same. And his back?
Yeah. And as you kind of lift him up, leaning him, kind of up a little bit to look, you don't see anything as well. It's just...
Can I suggest somewhere? Inside his mouth or on his tongue?
Wakanda forever?
Is that a thing? I was thinking Blade, where they're like, I'm a ghoul. Ugh.
Well, so the reason I say that is because in Black Panther, the way you show your citizenship in Wakanda is you got it in under your lip kind of a thing. I
didn't know. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't.
I'm
know.
sorry. I was just bringing it up. I'm sorry. The whole
Great.
Avengers mood is exciting me.
Movie. I can't see Infinity Wars now. The Venom movie out the window.
Tongue could make sense, kind of sealing his lips shut, or his taking his ability to speak.
So you look inside of his mouth. You kind of look around. Even kind of thinking that there's nothing there.
I think it shows up later.
And you kind of lay him back down.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that box that you found me in yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, it's like a box within a box within a box, and he looks over at Sethanna, who is clearly just sort of still holding his hand, but caught in almost sort of a weird sort of a trance, kind of just breathing in and out, and you can see that her eyes are a little bit clouded. Nothing else about her features have changed other than she's just and breathing in and breathing out.
Do you know if there was somebody else there?
I heard voices.
How many?
Somebody talked. Just one. It was a male voice.
But it wasn't Bishop.
The voice that I knew as Bishop seemed different. It seemed colder, more hoarse than the last time we saw him in prison.
What did he look like?
That's the weird part. I can't remember. Every time I look there in my mind, I can't see his face.
Why is he angry?
Because of what you did. He had this long sort of rambling that he would talk about, but the thing he kept repeating was he kept saying she cheated. She broke the rules. That's not how the game is played. He kept going on about the game. This was a game.
Freaking serial killers, man.
And you see that there's a little bit more pain in there, beginning to kind of come back into him as Sethanna's grip on him actually becomes a little tighter, and you can see that she's struggling a little bit. And you get the impression that this is starting to slip. Whatever this is that she's doing, this clarity that she's giving you and him in this moment.
I kind of like focus on Derek, and I like grab his face and I look at him and I'm like, I'm gonna get you out of everything and you're gonna be okay. And she kisses him on the forehead.
And he looks over at Sethanna and he says, she's right. You could let me go and take care of him.
It's not even up for debate. That's not happening. We can't let him.
I know. This isn't him winning. This is me giving you the opportunity to finally beat him.
I can beat him a different way without sacrificing your life.
And he seizes in pain a little bit as Sethanna's grip gets even tighter and she's losing control of this, right? And so as that momentary seizure, that momentary lapse, he looks back at you and he says, I can't make the decision for you. Just know that I would be okay with it. And he reaches out and, for her hand one more time.
She takes his hand.
And he looks at her and he's like, I love you. And he passes back into this whole thing. And Sethanna, what you see as this all kind of merges back into him is you see the flashes of his body being lashed to a table and him being tattooed on his forearms, on his calf, and on his back. And you see that other things are done to him, gruesome, horrible things that aren't visible yet. But it's almost as if they're there and not there. They're imagined and not, like they're real and not real. And so all of this, and then you see the mental construct that he's in, as he's in it within a box, that larger box, and with a larger box, as if there is a series of puzzles or, prisons to get through. And so as you kind of come out, you exhale with all of this, and Derek just kind of goes back to this sort of cloudy state. What happened? I had a thought there, and it's gone.
You did good. You should rest now, Derek.
I am tired. And he smiles at you and he says, thanks. And he just kind of leans back and closes his eyes.
I'm gonna look over at Morrigan.
What does she breathe out? I've been waiting for this.
He just described it.
Oh,
I
what?
breathed out memories, dude.
All this
It wasn't like anything it wasn't like something physical that she breathed in. It was like an emotional, just kind of.
No fire from dragons or anything.
I thought it was gonna be like Green Mile, where a bunch of fucking weird flies coming out of her mouth. And I'd be like, what?
No.
Fucking locusts and shit.
No, not in my house.
You guys are gross.
In my head, I imagine this is what she's seeing while they're having this conversation. Like, this is what she's breathing in and what she's feeling while she's trying to hold on.
Locust?
Yeah.
No. Oh my god.
Oh, praise the locust god.
I looked at Morrigan and it's like, did you get what you needed?
Yes, I mean, you gave me time, and that's something most people can't give, so thank you.
Do you know that there are tattoos in other parts of his body?
That's what he was trying to tell me, but there's nothing there. I checked him multiple times. I think this is so much more.
Wait. Do you have a pen and a paper?
Yeah, of course.
Johnny
Can I
runs
draw
out of
what I saw? Muted. The voices are trying to talk in my head, but I'm so drunk I can't hear them.
Yes, you can draw them, but they're just more cryptic words.
Okay. But at least they're more information than she has.
Yes.
Like, just everything and anything I remember seeing, the tattoos I saw being done, and the things that were there and weren't there. I'm just going to draw everything I can remember in this drunken haze.
Oh, okay. It's time to scare Morgan a little bit.
I mean,
What?
I'm prepared for the torture because that's what I expect from Bishop. I just don't expect it on Derek.
So, along with the 5 or the 4 places that there were tattoos, right? The 2 forearms on the calf. We'll say it's on the left calf, along across the lower back. She draws an outline of the body, of Derek, where the other things happened, and she draws lines at the joints.
Oh shit!
Each of the main joints on his body.
Johnny is currently rubbing a lemon on one of his forearms.
On Derek's forearm?
Yeah.
Doesn't reveal anything.
Okay.
Great job, guy.
All I imagined was Johnny sitting there, he's eating
Got a
his
hold of
sandwich,
flame next to it.
and then
Heat
he's
it up.
just like rubbing
He's
just
like,
lemons all.
I come back out of this like drawing, look.
Okay, so did Sethanna see dismemberment, or was it cutting into?
She saw cutting into.
I think he's playing mind games with me. Bishop.
Who's Bishop?
Serial killer.
Serial
Arthur
killer.
Bishop. You should. A few years ago, like, was.
You would know. You would be aware of the case. Sethanna.
Oh, okay.
Everybody knows the Arthur Bishop case.
The tattoos aren't invisible ink.
Thank you, Sean.
No, but he looked like he was in like the cube or something, like a box next to a box next to a box, and he had to go through a bunch of puzzles to get out, and found his in another box.
Yes.
Oh, like Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
I think we broke.
whatever Bishop was before, he's much worse now.
That's horrible.
You have no idea. You've seen some of it, but
I saw a lot, and I'm not gonna burden you with what I saw.
I already know what he's capable of, and if he's doing this, then it's much worse.
You should know that he might still have something to do. Your friend in there. But he's not long for this world.
That's not acceptable.
You realize that death is a part of life, right?
Yes, I'm very aware of that. It's not his time. Not for a long time.
Depends how long you think long is. I mean, I gave you what, maybe a few minutes in there? I don't know he has a lot of time left. But... And I don't know how often I can do that. But if you ever need that, and it's really desperate, or he needs to move on, I will take him. So he won't be alone. And then I give her my number. All you ever have to do is call. Because he is a fighter, but he is slipping. I'm sorry, but that's the truth, whether you want to accept it or not. But just know, that when he is ready, I will take him to where he needs to go.
Well, then let's both hope that it's not for a long time.
I can really hope that, because I haven't done this a lot. And I feel like he deserves someone a little bit better than an apprentice, whatever the hell I am, so... Yeah. Gonna go back to whatever booze I was drinking in the kitchen. Do either of you know a cop named Albert?
What?
A what?
Was that the name I was given?
Alfred.
Alfred.
Sorry.
No.
Alfie.
I don't know who Albert is.
Would I know Alfred?
Yes, I actually sent you a message via Zoom about it. That's what you get for not checking Zoom,
Oh,
man.
geez, 10 messages. Oh, no.
We were role playing, man.
Ah!
I got time to read this shit.
Yes, you would definitely know the name of Alfred because he's a homicide detective, and he would have consulted you occasionally
Okay.
in connection with the police department's
Okay.
investigations into more weirdness. He may have been peripherally involved, and that's really up to between you and Alex about whether he was peripherally involved in the Arthur Bishop case. But you would know each other by reputation, be some acquaintance of, and
Mhm.
potentially have worked together to the two of you.
What's Derek's rank?
a
He's in homicide, right?
Yep.
Okay. I would have worked with him on several cases, especially anything that seems supernatural.
Derek would have been sort of the leading detective or the ranking detective in a lot of these cases, especially given the involvement in the Bishop case and everything afterwards.
So Derek is kind of like Alfred's mentor. So.
If that's how Alfred saw him, then yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. I would be like, yeah, Alfred's worked with Derek on the force. Why? What? It's random.
Is he a good dude?
I mean, I don't know him that well. I've met him in passing. Derek never really complained about him, so at least there's that.
He was sniffing around about some things with Henry, and yeah, I just wanted to know whether I could trust him.
Oh, well, I mean,
he tried a variety of different ways to get me down to the precinct, like saying he needed to talk, that he could just take me in for drunk and disorderly, which I am not disorderly, thank you very much, and that maybe I needed protection. It was a whole load of random excuses to get me down there. I just wondered if I could trust him.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't sure how to approach you. Sounds like it, at least.
I'm very approachable.
I'm saying it's more of his insecurity versus a problem with you.
Oh, I like it. I'll take that.
I mean, again, don't know, but usually with men, and women.
Well, he gave me his number, so.
Yep, okay.
Maybe he was hitting on you.
That's what I thought. And then he brought out a thing saying, "Oh, I'm happily married." He's like, "But that doesn't mean anything." So, whatever. I just wanted to know if I could trust him. That was all.
I wish I could help more with that. I don't really know.
That's okay. Hey, I didn't know you all of an hour ago. So, no harm, no foul.
That's fair. I don't mind you.
I think I like you too.
All right, so we're going to cut to Alfred outside in wolf form, just kind of, keeping an eye on the building. When he sees a couple of cars kind of pull up in front, gray sedans, outstepping a number of, 2 per car, gray suited individuals, all wearing hats. And they begin to move into the building. There's 6 total, or six total.
Alfred kind of looks at them curiously.
Alfred would know that there are the reports. The police have been receiving reports about unusual activity of gray-suited men, in the city, just potentially harassing or being on the scene of certain incidents, but people don't actually remember much beyond that. That's they've vaguely been reported that way.
Huh. Alfred turns around and walks back into an alleyway, and pulls out a plastic t-shirt bag full of clothes as he kind of shifts back into human form and he throws the clothes back on. He places the detective shield on his belt and he kind of stalks behind them, gives them their space, but he's very interested to see where they're going and why they're going into Morrigan's building. Muted.
So as you get inside, the last of them are, entering in an elevator, and the door closes before you can get close enough to kind of, get to hear anything about them. And here's the interesting thing about it. You're trying to get a sense of them as you're kind of making your way through the lobby, being where you assume that they were. You're not able to get a scent at all. In fact, it's really weird because there's no scent of human there. And
is it like devoid of scent, or is there a unhuman scent?
It is devoid of scent.
Okay.
And so as you're kind of you're watching the elevator go up, you see that it goes up and it stops at a particular floor, which happens to be Morrigan's floor.
He's going to take the stairs, and then he's going to start rushing up the stairs as fast as he can.
Hey, Morrigan, what floor is your apartment on?
I'm on the top level.
How tall is that?
It's a skyscraper, so it's pretty tall.
Like,
I like
if
the
you
view.
had to put a number.
I always assumed it was between 60 and 80 stories.
Yeah,
let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's
okay. What is that in floor language?
Let's just say you've got like
60 or 80 floors.
Yeah,
60 or 80 floors. Okay.
A story is typically considered a floor.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh well, I'm not an architect, so.
I mean, let's put it this way: your minimum staircases are 60 staircases, all with steps and landings and turnabouts and.
Alfred opens up the door and looks up at the top of the stairs, and he's like, "Oh fuck." Whatever. And then he kind of loosens his tie as the hair on his arms, his beard, the hair on his chest kind of grows thicker and darker. He starts to look like Marty McFly from Teen Wolf. The hair on the back of his hands grow thicker.
Yeah.
Is it Marty McFly from Teen Wolf?
I know who you said. I don't think
it's a Bigby Wolf from Among Us.
It's not Marty McFly because that's it.
I'm talking about the old movie, not the new TV show.
No, Marty McFly. What the fuck? I can't remember the actor.
I can't remember his name too. That's why I said Marty McFly.
Okay, we get it. Teen Wolf.
Fox?
We got
Michael
it.
J. Fox.
Teen Wolf.
His character's name is Scott Howard.
Okay.
Not at all, actually.
Okay, it's fine.
Anyways, I'm sorry. We just go ahead.
So he kind of shifts into this Wolfman kind of deal, and he starts bounding up the stairs at superhuman, otherworldly speed. And I'm going to try to make it there as they hit the top floor. I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So because you see it that way, it's time for this to become some sort of roll.
Exactly, and I would love for it to be.
What kind of a roll do you want?
Go toe to toe because I'm trying to beat them at something. We're going head to head. I'm trying to beat their lift.
You're trying to beat the elevator. Technology versus Alfred.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's okay. So I'm not going to agree with you that it's toe to toe, only because they're not directly in conflict. They're not even aware of you.
Mm-hmm.
I see it being more of a hit them with all you got, just kind of pushing yourself to your limit.
Okay.
But I can also see it being take or risk.
What is he really risking? What's the risk involved?
I'm assuming physical harm and exposure. Like being exposed to there being a wolfman on the stairs.
Is he a wolfman? He's more like a hairy guy right now. Okay. I'll take a risk. I'll take a
It's
risk.
binary, so there's that at least.
Yes, exactly.
We're gonna do superhuman speed,
Okay.
shape-shifting wolf.
Okay.
Let's see. Supernatural strength
Okay.
for the endurance. Otherworldly reflexes. If there's somebody coming down the stairs, he's going to try to vault past them. Not like spectacularly, but he's running.
Dodge them, essentially.
Yeah, he's just dodging. He's kind of like, whoa, also, if he misses a stair, he's going to catch himself.
Okay. What about any weaknesses?
Bestial nature. One of the big weaknesses for Alfred is he loves spending time in wolf form because he can just run wild.
Okay. There's also going to be a story tag that's going to affect you as well negatively
Okay.
in the form of tall building.
Okay.
Goddamn buildings. This isn't the forest.
I thought you rolled through 5 power tags.
Shape shifting wolf, superhuman speed, otherworldly reflexes, supernatural strength, bestial nature's a weakness.
Right, but
And
I thought there
then-
was another one. I thought there was another positive there. Okay.
No.
All right.
Animal instincts, but I don't think this is he's not using animal instincts.
He also just rolled a 1 though, so that's
Yeah.
just shit die roll.
Yeah.
It is a shit roll, and I kind of regret giving you the extra story tag. But the narrative of it is you do arrive, you make your way up to the top, and you do arrive. However, Morgan's precautions have prevented you from actually gaining access through that final door because there's a biometric scanner there. And a keypad.
Fuck.
So you have to go a floor down and make your way up to the elevator.
It's gonna be the most awkward.
He's gonna
animation
jiggle the
ever.
handle.
As they stop, they're like,
If he
Oh.
messes with it, alarm's going off for Morrigan.
The
As-
alarm would definitely start going off at that point. It's the other half of the floor move.
Go off, or are
It's
we
a
just-
it's a silent alarm. We
Basically,
have
her phone
company.
gets
Yeah,
her phone gets a note.
we got company, guys. Did you invite anybody else?
"Oh no,
No.
I don't even know you."
Let's be prepared for the unexpected. How's that? And she looks at through the security footage in the building.
You see the gray suited individuals kind of making their way up the stairs, and as you're swapping, you're looking between footage from the building and footage from your hallway. You see 6 of them exiting the elevator.
Fuck, guys. Fucking suits, man. They're here.
Alfred would just kind of slam his fist against the door, say "fuck it," jump down a level over to the door, and trying to keep pace, run towards the elevator and see if then he's doing that thing at the elevator where you press the button multiple times, come on, Jesus fucking Christ, God fucking damn it, get here now, please. And then doors open, he gets in, then he's top floor.
Elevator music.
So, in that time, Johnny would look at Morgan and be like, do you want me to take care of them? There's only 6 of them.
I can't afford to destroy this office.
I'll go talk to them
They're
then.
outside.
Yeah, they're outside the door. Can I open the door and walk out and shut it behind me
Yeah, you
without
could.
the biometric scanner?
Yeah, you can always
Okay.
leave, but it automatically
okay.
locks behind you.
Yeah, that's fine because I can open the door regardless if it locked behind me. But he's nice and doesn't do that. So he opens the door and shuts it and cuts off the gray suited people. And he's like, "What?"
They all stop, kind of looking at you. We're not here for you.
Who are you here for?
She's in there.
My God, who?
Which one? There's 2 of them.
At that, Morrigan and Sethanna, in the distance, outside the window, hear a strange thumping sound.
Hey, someone's trying to... Wait, that's not the door.
What do I see out the window?
When you step over and look out the window, you see a huge helicopter hovering and just kind of moving up, kind of to the level of where you are.
Well, I mean, I don't have to walk over. It's floor-to-ceiling windows. So,
so you don't see it immediately because it's very close to the building, and it just kind of rises into your field of vision. And it's a huge, like, military-grade helicopter, and it's like you hear the thump, 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 thump.
Does it have guns on it?
It does not have guns on it, but it's clear that they've got breaching tools.
Is it the same helicopter that was with us on Tuesday?
Gee, I'm glad somebody finally remembered that. Yes.
I wasn't there.
Helicopter.
In that case...
Helicopter on Tuesday?
Oh my god, I remember. That helicopter was there on, like, Friday night.
Okay.
It was chasing us all over the place.
Okay, good or bad helicopter?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't. I just remember being in the clearing in, like, Cal's fuck den or whatever the hell it was. And there was a helicopter.
Okay, well, we're going into lockdown. Remember about those extra security precautions, Johnny?
Hold on a second. So we're gonna cut back to Johnny, as we don't want any trouble. We just want to talk to her.
Do I hear the helicopter?
You hear the way that the building is designed, it's probably a very distant sound. I mean, this is a heavy-duty military-grade helicopter, but still, especially with the precautions that Morgan would have taken, it would be very hard to hear. You would hear a...
Okay. I'd be like, all right, hold on, and then I would call Morgan.
Yes. There's a helicopter here, Johnny. What the hell?
Wait, hold on. There's a helicopter.
And the door opens behind, the elevator door opens behind as out steps this hairy guy.
Oh my god.
Jesus fucking Christ. Guys couldn't... I look at the gray suit people. What, you fucking couldn't hold the fucking goddamn son of a bitch and goddamn elevator?
Who are you?
The gray suit guys are like looking, going, and they're staring back hard at Alfred. Sorry, Alfred.
Morgan's like yelling on the other side of the phone, like, hello, helicopter.
They said they just want to talk. Wait, what's with the helicopter? Make the helicopter go away.
What a fucking helicopter. Jesus Christ.
I have to say, that is an impressive helicopter. I haven't seen a military helicopter.
I like get all the gray suit people to look at me. It's like, can you get rid of the helicopter?
It's there for our protection.
It's not helping the situation. I'm really
Morgan, as you look out the window again, you can see them preparing to breach.
I hit my panic button, which drops a bunch of steel plating over the windows.
All right, so please describe us in detail what that.
Basically, it's like full-blown security lockdown. All of the windows, they actually appear to be like almost like they would have been like those shutters that come down like to tint, but they're actually steel plates as they drop from behind like these fabric facades, so to speak, and they just like lock into place. It's not one long one, it's like stacked, so it just goes down across all of the windows. And now everything is super dark, and then after about like 1 second, emergency lighting turns on, and my phone like starts going off, basically like security lockdown.
Okay, so that's the windows, and I'm assuming it's the windows in your front area and also the bedroom where Derek currently is.
Yes.
What about the front door?
The front door just goes into the security lock code. The lock code changes. The door itself has already been reinforced, so it requires some serious breaching to get through. But it's not like on the outside. It doesn't appear different.
How about your walls?
I mean, my walls are walls.
All right, she said it. The walls.
Okay, so
I literally, it's not like I could like completely, I did actually like, you know, have to comply with certain building things. There were some things I kind of shadily did, like my windows, but the entire structure of the building, not so much.
Sorry, my inner thief from the previous game is like, all those easy things are cut down. What about the wall? You can knock out a wall.
What's Johnny doing?
I'm gonna roll a convince on these guys and be like, if you're not here to start a fight, then I might be able to work something out. But the helicopter's gotta go. As I hear security breached out, and I'm like, apparently she's already noticed it. Get rid of it. And then let's do convince. I have 3 power takes. I'm doing beat them at everything, indomitable, and parry.
Okay.
Parry to if they come back at me with something, I have a witty comeback such as get rid of it. And beat them at everything. Okay.
I was gonna say there is a story tag element that comes with these guys as before. It's basically Legion. Yes.
Okay. So I'll roll it.
Do it.
I got a +2 right now. Fuck.
You guys might want to refresh your Roll20 logins.
Apparently, what did I roll? 2 1s? Oh, a 2 and a 1. I'm sorry.
2 and a 1.
Let me refresh. Hold on.
I got a 1 and a 3. So hey.
Yeah, like I said, guys, you might want to refresh Roll20.
Okay.
Don't you ruin my fun here, Meta. I swear to God.
This is my office at stake. Thank you very much.
Well, so it's funny that you say that. Thanks for that description. Thanks to Sethanna and, Volonda and Alex.
They're breaking down my wall, I swear to God.
Thump, 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 as something is hitting against the shielding on the window, and you hear the glass sort of shatter a little bit, but you hear less of the glass and more of the thumping, and you see little dents in. And the chopper is still sort of out there as you hear another thump, but it's in the wall itself. And there's a pause, and you're given a moment to kind of react as you realize that it's outside of the shielding of your windows.
Out of game. I'm so sorry.
I literally just redid all of this.
I am so sorry.
How loud is that banging against the metal? Would I be able to hear it?
Not through all the reinforced stuff going on in place, but you do hear the distant thwumping of the helicopter very softly, right? But it's still, again, because of the reinforcement of the apartment already. Anything like that's not super freaking loud, and this would be not as loud as the thwopping of the helicopter. You wouldn't hear that. But you did just see Johnny try to convince them to give up the goods, and they're clearly not giving a shit. They're not interested at all. They just don't want to get into a fight with him at this point.
Which wall was it at that I heard it?
The wall that divides, or somewhere between the wall that divides your main area and the area where Derek is.
Christ. Son of a bitch. I'll be right back. She rushes into Derek's room and is like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I don't have anywhere to put him right now.
We can't fight them.
What?
We can fight them.
Well, they're gonna just blow up a goddamn building.
We can make the helicopter go away.
It's not the first building that Sethanna and I have blown up.
Morrigan
why don't we just try talking to them?
Morrigan gets this wheelchair out basically and props Derek into it, and throws a blanket over his legs and stuff, and starts wheeling. It sounds so ridiculous. Starts wheeling him out into the main area, into the bathroom, which is actually fully reinforced, and he's in there now.
Panic room.
Yeah, pretty much.
Safest place.
Yeah. So, this is not good. This is so not good. Son of a bitch.
Oh, why are they here? Hey, where's your phone? Johnny?
Johnny's still probably on the other line.
Hi. What's going on?
I don't know. I'm waiting for Alfred to do his thing.
Alfred holds up his badge and he's like, all right. Metro City Police. I'm going to have to ask you all to explain what you're doing here.
Muted.
Muted.
Base danger.
Okay.
Whoa.
I'm going to...
Johnny's dealt with this before.
Okay, so I'm going to use the badge because I'm flashing the badge.
Okay.
Animal instincts, acute senses, otherworldly reflexes, and pack mentality.
How does otherworldly reflexes work here?
If they go for a gun,
This is not a physical move at all.
Oh,
okay.
no.
Well, you just said face danger, so I assume.
I said face danger. That doesn't mean that it's a physical move. You're facing an effect or an attack, a move against you. Yes, but it's not like a physical act. Just trust me on this. It's not a physical act. I will explain what happens the moment that you roll. So, okay, let's go back through it again. What are your
acute senses, animal instincts,
absolutely
pack mentality?
How does pack mentality apply here?
Because I'm helping Johnny.
He's not a part of your pack. You don't know him.
Everybody in the city is part of my pack. I protect my pack. I'm a detective. I catch bad guys.
But what if Johnny is the bad guy?
And that's the thing.
They clearly know Johnny, so that calls things into question.
Would Morrigan count as pack because of his connection with her partner?
Yes, and this is important, has Alfred ever been here before in a consulting capacity, with or without? No, this is a meta question. This is a meta question, because this would be her place of practice, right? Would she have done this consultation here or at the police station? Because he knows this location. He knows that this is where. But would he have ever been here?
With Derek.
Right. So pack mentality applies here. Absolutely. Okay. And so, but the senses do not.
Acute senses?
Sorry, not acute senses. The
otherworldly reflexes.
Otherworldly reflexes. Is there anything you wanted to throw?
No. That's the only thing that really does not go against something physical.
Okay. So
I guess the finer details, I'm trying to read them. I would be trained in body language, knowing whether or not they're in a hostile stance, facial expressions, criminal profiling.
So none of this would be triggered by that.
Okay, that's fine.
And you're going to deal with the story tag Legion.
Okay. So throwing 3.
You are so lucky. Oh my God. Okay. So the moment that you start to engage them, they turn and they all look at you as one. And you're struck immediately with the idea that Johnny and all 6 of them are not there. As if the hallway is sort of clear.
Is this a mental thing?
This is basically a almost like a psychic attack of some kind.
Would I be able to smell Johnny?
Hold on. It affects your physical senses. Because of how things are going, it would affect your physical senses. If you want to sniff the air and smell Johnny, that would be a separate thing. You haven't even made an obvious push towards, I want to see what's going on here, right? Yeah. However, you have this immediate flash, right? All of a sudden, just in your mind, Johnny's not there. The 6 aren't there. You can't hear the helicopter. But there's something about it that you're kind of struggling through, because you immediately go to your senses and start to kind of sniff a little bit, and you smell that there's something off. You smell that there's somebody here, but you can't see them right now. So what you're going to take is confused, status 2.
Okay.
And so it's not going to affect your physical attack, but it is going to affect your ability to engage in this situation. It is a negative status effect. But you know that something's off about the scene in front of you. You can't see them right now for whatever reason.
Okay.
And so how do you respond at that point? Because you clearly smell something in the hallway.
Would I be aware of the change?
No.
Okay. Because if I would be aware of the change, I would start swinging.
No. So you would not. So it would be like the Men in Black sort of memory wipe. Right. You would just be like, what am I doing here? That's odd.
Yeah, he's going to start sniffing. And then he's going to walk past the gray suited men. I assume he's just going to barrel right past through them. And then right past Johnny, and he's going to start banging on the door.
What the fuck?
He can't see you. Like you're looking at him, but he just can't see you. He's acting like the people that you saw in the park.
And he's banging on the door. Open up. Metro City Police, open up.
I'm on the phone. He can't see me, but I'm
Hell,
literally
what is
standing
fucking
right here.
happening right now? There is somebody trying to get into the suite from the outside with the helicopter. What the fuck is going on? Who is this at the door?
Hey, can I see him? Do you have like cameras to the outside that we can see?
Yeah, if you went to my computer.
So
Or
out
you
of
can look at my
curiosity,
phone.
are you still Wolfman Alfred?
No, I think at the psychic attack would have calmed me, and
Okay.
I would just be normal Alfred.
So you would notice this, Johnny.
He was a wolfman and turned to normal.
Well, I was considerably more hairier, and now I'm just what you would
Not as
normally
hairy.
see, not as hairy.
I'm like, there was a hairy man that's not so hairy, and he's pounding on the door. And then I have these guys who won't get rid of the helicopter. But yeah.
He pounds on the door again. Miss Kane, are you okay in there?
I am as good as I can be. Who is this?
I was a partner with Derek Roth, Detective Roth.
Okay.
I came here to check up on you. There was a Sethanna Burke. She is in contact with one Henry Windsor.
Can I hear this?
Sure.
Yeah, it's on there's like a little speaker thing.
Oh, cool. Hey, that's me.
Good. Well, Ms. Burke, I'm going to have to ask you to come down to the station.
Are you arresting her?
While all this exchange is going on, Johnny is kind of looking at the situation, and you see that the gray suited guys are currently kind of consulting each other about what to do next because he didn't leave.
I am arresting her with accessory after the fact.
For what? Accessory to what?
Stealing police evidence.
Do you have an arrest warrant?
And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a slip of paper
Hold it up to the camera, please.
and he opens it.
What does it have on it?
It's just your standard arrest warrant under for accessory after the fact. Her name and signed by a judge.
Is it really a paper, or are you playing some sort of trick here?
No, it's really a paper.
It's
He
really
wanted to, yeah,
Okay.
he wanted to see if she would come willingly before he whipped that out.
Oh, it looks like a real arrest warrant, Sethanna. Looks like your friend Henry decided to confess.
You know what? Good on him.
So, there's people out there that are not just him. What do you want me to do? I really don't want them to break my door down, I'm not gonna lie.
No.
What? Hello?
Hang on,
There's
Johnny.
something-
Hang on.
What?
Why are they here?
I don't
You hear
know.
3 more thumps coming from the other room.
Ms. Kane, I'm going to have to ask you to
Hi,
please.
can you give us like 3 minutes? Just 3 minutes? There is some weird shit going on. Just give me 3 minutes.
Ms. Burke, I'm going to have to insist that you come with
My
me
hand over
immediately.
his chest so we can't hear him.
I mean, I can unclick the button. He can't hear us. So.
Thank you. Johnny, what's going on out there? Why are there still people here?
They want to talk to someone, I imagine Morrigan or you. I don't know, but they said the helicopters for their protection. I'm keeping them at bay right now.
They're destroying my freaking suite.
Can
Why
you
don't-
stop destroying the suite? I'm gonna roll convince
Can you
again.
ask? Can you just ask them which one they
How are you
want?
going to convince them to stop destroying the suite? You've already tried that once.
I'm actually gonna roll change the game.
Okay.
And this is when I'm having the phone on speaker as
Such a
Morrigan.
shit show.
They're destroying my suite. I was like, you're really pissing her off. You don't want to.
Mi-
So,
Alfred's still banging on the door. Ms. Kane, if you do not give custody of Ms. Burke over to me, I'm going to have to assume you're harboring a fugitive, and I'm going to have to break down the door.
If you break down this door, I will file a complaint against you, and you will never work in this city again. Do not threaten me right now.
Damn. All right. Well, that normally just opens the door. Kind of like he kind of just like leans up against the door and like nuzzles in. I can wait here all day, Ms. Burke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Johnny's
trying to
intervening.
change the game here. So
Okay.
let's let Johnny change the game here.
So I'm going to use Ultimate Fighter, Indomitable, Parry. Parry is the phone, and Go All the Way, I believe.
Ultimate Fighter. How is that factoring into this? Because this is you're using change the game in what I'm assuming is a non-physical way.
Yes. So I'm using my this is also has to deal with Morrigan and telling them, fighting against their stubbornness from before of me trying to convince them nicely of, fighting against that stubbornness with, being like, you don't want to piss her off, like, and throwing that at them. An indomitable of like being determined in getting this out there. And I do have Legion marked.
Okay.
Okay. Change the game.
One. Dude.
So,
No, nobody. Yes. Sorry. Please continue.
So that's 4 juice, and thank you for the
so it's 3 juice.
I was gonna do it 4 times, but
On a great success, the first one counts as 2.
Oh, okay.
So you get a total of 4.
Okay. So 11. So I want to let me see. I want to convince them to take the helicopter away, or like have them have a status 2 of so 1 would be wary, 2 would be convinced to listen what I'm saying and get rid of the helicopter. Does that
Okay.
work? And then I have 2 more.
You're technically using the juice to convince them without convincing them. I need a better way for you to explain narratively how that's going to work, and I'll accept it. I just need you to explain it.
So as I'm looking at them and I'm telling them, I was like, you don't want to piss her off. Like, do you know who you're dealing with already? If you want to talk, get rid of the helicopter. That's fine. But if you're going to send a helicopter, which is a threatening gesture, It's not gonna end well for anyone. Do you remember 2 days ago?
Okay, so that's your convince, and at that they start getting on the phone. You might want to do something about the helicopter. You hear some of that going on. So you've got 2 juice left to spend. What do you want to do with those 2 juice, or do you want to hold on to it in the scene?
I can't do anything about the angry guy yelling about police warrants in the into the with anything. I can't knock him out.
I don't know. You could try, but he might see you then, and it might cause a fight. I don't know.
No, I'm not doing that currently at the time.
Alfred,
I'm gonna bake that juice. That's all I really want to do is them to get rid of the fucking helicopter. I'm like, all right, I can fix them to move the helicopter, but now we a terrible detective.
It's fine as long as they're not breaking my entire freaking place to live. Okay, this is fine.
Okay, so that exchange is happening. Alfred is still knocking on.
Yes.
Sethanna dealing with that. Dealing with the.
I have muted the speaker at this point because he's incessant.
He kind of just leans up against the door and he puts a cigarette in his mouth, looks over at the no smoking sign, lights it, and kind of just blows it into the camera.
God, he's lucky this isn't a federal building.
Yeah.
So these guys, so what Johnny sees is they're one of them is on the phone, still trying to convince based on what he's saying that this is going on. When you hear cracking coming from the other room,
What? I'm gonna pull my sword. Is this not right? She's had enough of it today. She's gonna go to prison. She'll do it for something worthwhile.
Morgan is just like, seriously?
Johnny, you feel the structure just begin to kind of shift a little bit.
I look at them and I was like, what's going on?
Would I feel that?
No, because you are under their memory.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, like,
You are
under the memory. Like, okay.
You're under their illusion. You're under the belief that nothing is going on.
I want to go check out this crack noise you were talking about.
So as you kind of step out around or into the other room where Derek was seated, there is clearly a crack of an outline, and there are 4, essentially like bolt kind of things that are just like shot in and then kind of opened up and latched against the wall, and they're slowly pulling on the wall, and you see a crack beginning to kind of form.
Oh no. She's not gonna like that. Is this from the helicopter?
Mm-hmm. I said that they had breaching tools. They came from business.
Okay.
As I feel the structure sway, I was like, what the fuck did you do?
Not
I'm trying
guilty.
to convince them, but the plan is in motion. We need to talk to her.
Yeah, you could have knocked on the door.
You were in our way.
So Morgan's gonna go to the other room to see what Sethanna saw.
The crack is continuing to get, bigger.
I think they're gonna break your wall.
I think I'm gonna break some fucking skulls is what's about to happen.
That's on the speakerphone.
No, it's not. No.
Very...
I'm holding his phone. We're on a phone call together.
Johnny, who are they after?
Who are you after?
Her.
Which one?
Morgan walks over to the front door and swings, it's a double door, so she swings both of them open. It's like, seriously, stop breaking my fucking house!
To which
Alfred falls backwards, drops his cigarette. Miss, please don't raise your voice. I'm not breaking
I'm not talking
anything.
to you. I'm talking to these fucking morons.
I look where she's pointing. Ma'am, Miss Kane, look. I'm sorry. He takes the cigarette and he puts it out on his shoe. All right, okay. Look, hey, there's no one there, Miss Kane.
For all of you except Alfred, you hear the crack as the wall kind of continues to shift and finally, dislodges. and all of a sudden there's a huge, gust of air. And for Alfred, all he feels is this weird sort of gust of air, and it kind of blows the cigarette out of his hand as he's trying to put it out. And like he just kind of, flourishes all over the four of you as the air pressure starts to adjust.
Morgan's staring at the gray suited men, and she's like, okay, who do you want to talk to?
And they point to Sethanna.
God.
Ugh. And Morrigan is losing her mind now. She is going to stop holding back and reverse time to before they damaged her building.
You're going to stop holding back to reverse time?
It's a significant sequence of events, so I think that this is a stop holding back moment.
All right. So, as with all stop holding backs, let's talk about what actually is going to happen so we can figure out the severity of this, or yeah.
Basically, now that Morgan knows what they want, she's like, fine, okay. And now we can do this civilized. And so her whole thing is, okay, to the moment before the alarms went off on her phone. So, like, leading up to the alarm. So she knows that they're coming, and she knows what they want. And basically, the way it's happening is it's like literally just pressing the rewind button on a VCR, and it's just scrolling backward.
Okay. So, to me, that's a significant amount of time in reversing set events.
That's like at least 15, 20 minutes, yeah?
Sure. It's reversing what happened to Henry, the mental state.
Right.
It's reversing what happened to the physical in respect to the walls. It's
right.
reversing, the first thing that essentially in my head, the first alarm that's going to be tripped is Henry trying to enter through the stairway.
Okay.
Right. So there's a fair bit there.
Yep.
But there's not necessarily a lot of life or death in this particular situation, and that's typically what I would associate with stop holding back in circumstances. So to me, and I think this is a discussion, to kind of, but to me, it seems like it's just significant. It's not anything more than significant at this point. What does the table think, though? Because I'm really curious, because I feel like I'm missing something. This is more, the scale is more critical than just significant.
Morgan said it was significant, so yeah, it's significant.
I think it's only significant. Like, I don't think she's like going out.
It's not like a no return moment, and it's not like she's rewinding time before anything, so it's not ultimate.
Yeah. I've manipulated time before, which is why for her it's like she's just fucking annoyed. Like, this is seriously unnecessary kind of thing, and her gut reaction is like, okay, let's just deal with this the way we should have and be on our way kind of deal. But again, if anybody else thinks it's more than that, then I'm totally open to discussion.
I mean, honestly, I only think like maybe 2 minutes has gone by since all this happened, with like adding all the scenes and everything going on at the same time. I don't think, like, if you're like, yeah, let's rewind it the past hour, I'd be like, oh, that's going to be way more than what it is. This is 2 minutes, and
well, this is like 15, 20 minutes, right?
I think
it's longer than 2 minutes. I don't think it's 15 or 20 minutes. Okay. I think there's been a fair bit of exchange. The two elements that really kind of stand out to me in respect to anything over just reversing the set of events in a normal fashion is the physical, which is the helicopter showed up and breached the wall,
right? And
the effect that the gatekeepers have on Alfred. Excuse me, Alfred. At least I didn't say Albert at this point. So, and that has had a significant impact in comedy on the scene. That's the only reason why I'm more than willing to go with significant, though. I think that makes complete sense. Again, I just wanted to open it up to the table just because I felt like I was missing something.
Yeah. I mean, Morgan knows that it happened.
Right. And so
what will know that it happened.
Well, so I'm gonna, based on the success, based on how the roll goes, I'm gonna ask you one other or two other questions about what happens.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna see how shitty this is because Roll20 has been really fun about misses and failures here. So this is a straight 2d6 plus 1 for my 1 logos. Pray for me, chat. Pray for me.
We pray.
Yep. That's just dandy.
Ouch.
At least you don't evaporate.
That's true.
That's true.
You make a time remnant. Now there's 2 Morrigans.
That would be bad. That would be real bad there.
Yep, that would be really bad there, bud.
Yep. Not great. That's a failure, guys, by the way.
So what's that mean?
No, your prayers did not
I'm trying to decide
work.
how
That's
bad
a
I
fail.
want to be. I'm trying to decide how significant I want this to be, because this is the first time anybody's actually really failed on a stalling back, and this is
Yay for perks.
okay. So you pay the price for 7 of 9. That's one of the things, right? You burn all the power tags for that particular theme book.
Yep.
And you also take a fade or a crack. So not a gigantic thing in respect to that. I have a question for the table, because I liked my original idea was basically what Mike said in chat, which is time reverses too far. Now the question is, what is the severity of that? The reason I'm asking is because what's on the table is some or all of the information that she received from Derek.
Would she forget it? Like, she would know that she threw back time. We wouldn't know shit.
This is time going horribly wrong. This is her reversing of time going horribly wrong. She will know that she eliminated time, or so she'll know that the event has happened. It's a matter of the scale of what that is. If she remembers everything, then there has to be some other important impact and consequence to the situation. I'm happy to open it up to the table and have a separate conversation here about the scale, what that actually means in respect to scale. Maybe she remembers the information, but she doesn't. That event never actually happened, so she doesn't have that emotional beat or that emotional feeling. Maybe it's her emotional state. She, intellectually she remembers the time change, but Derek never actually was that way. And so she doesn't have that emotional upbeat moment of it. I don't know. I'm excited because this is kind of a significant event for Morrigan in some ways, right? She's clearly failing at something very, very important.
You could do the time trope that she rewinds time. She remembers everything up until that point. But because of the way she rewound the time, something got mixed out of order, which caused all of those sequence of events not to ever have happened.
So that means that she loses the information with Derek.
She knows the information with Derek, but whether or not that actually happened is now up in the air. Like, she has to live with the fact that she knows that information, but, or something changes later down the road. Everything can happen just the way it happened. But she changes it. Obviously, she's going to try to change something. Something in the future might be changed because she changed time.
I like to think that so everything happens as it was, and she went back too far, right? And the moment with Sethanna happens, but one of two things happens. It doesn't work as it was, right? So she has 2 memories of what she revealed with Derek. Right. One where it's like she has that information where she's like, oh, it got revealed to him and the tattoos. But she also has the thought of, or the memory of, oh, it didn't work. Something went wrong. And like Sethanna failed her role in that aspect. But she doesn't know which one really happened, which one happened in this timeline. And then we would be at the point where the alarm starts going off with the jiggle of the handle. But that's my take on it. I think that'd be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Alternatively, if time is out of whack, something from her past is being brought into the now. So something that may be long dead and over is brought back at that moment just before it ends, or before it it has its like final impact that she's had so far and is brought into the future. She may not necessarily know what it is right now, but it's there from her past. So if there is someone in her past that has died, or she's done some machinations to hurt someone, that moment is brought into the present, but may not necessarily affect this moment right here.
Past bishop. Now there's two bishops.
Two bishops, really?
GG.
As if the world isn't coming to an end enough as it is.
And the two bishops battle it out.
You're muted.
Okay. So So there's three ideas on the table here that you guys are presenting and I think are really good. I'm going to throw another one out, and then I'm going to ultimately let Morrigan decide out of all of those, because I think because this consequence really affects some element of your ability to role play, I think it's an important part of the process that you ultimately make the decision about how this consequence kind of lays out. I'm going to say the reverse actually happens. I'm going to say that there's a time jump moving forward, and that you have to deal with the consequences of what happens in that time jump without experiencing it and being able to play out. And it plays out against you because you don't have any control and there were no roles. So it's going to negatively affect the four of you in that situation.
How far does the time jump?
5 minutes. So I think you should, I think we can, I mean, I'm happy to continue to discuss this because I can talk about time travel stuff all the time. And I think all the ideas presented on the table are really cool. But ultimately it comes down to, for Morrigan, as a player meta, what seems to appeal most to you in respect to how things would play out?
Probably the past coming back. I don't like the first two options because it really fucks with my role playing. And the progression that we've made with Derek, it just would be really shitty to me as a player. So okay. I'm not for that at all.
Okay.
And so I would go with either the last two options, either skip forward or a significant past event or person or whatever that you choose at some point comes back or whatever kind of deal. So those are my two I'm leaning on right now.
Oh.
Because there's a lot of options there, right? So like saying out of character, the person that I killed at the very beginning of our season 1 could come back, or something like any sequence of events that happened in season 1. There's a lot of opportunity for you, Johnny, to pull back, or you can go farther back, which is, more backstory stuff. It's really ultimately comes to you. I think there's more flexibility narration wise for you there. So I would go with that option.
Yes. So there is plenty of flexibility, but it sounds like Luke also something else.
Oh no! I literally, when she was like bringing someone back, I thought of Elliot. I instantaneously.
Yeah, the person that I killed.
I also thought of a second person, but I think Morrigan also
Sydney?
has that person. No.
Oh.
Her father.
Don't you dare! Don't you fucking dare!
Well, so ultimately, again,
I'm going with option 3, Johnny, for $100. Thank you. Okay.
So somebody from your past. So it sounds like McLoken and I will be having conversations later. You can thank him later tonight when you can't sleep.
No.
Everybody knows that when they figure out my backstory, that the same thing will happen to my father that it did before. It's totally fine. All right. Moving on, shall we?
All right.
Thank you for the suggestion, by the way, all of you guys.
Yeah, I think table story wise, I think that this ended up playing out best because it wasn't me being evil, because I would have taken something away, and I'm glad that I didn't. I'm glad that you were honest about that too, because if it's something that's not going to be fun for you, then I definitely don't want to do it at the table. Now, all of that being said,
yes.
Narrate for us what happens when she fails. What does that look like?
I think that she doesn't realize when the moment is that she screws up, because she knows she screws up. Because when she finally comes back, like she goes through the process of like she has her moment of freak out where she flings the doors open and yells at the gray suit man and all this other stuff, and then like has this deep breath and she closes her eyes, and all of it is like literally played backward for her in her mind. And as she is doing this, she's trying to stop it, and there's like a stutter almost, like a break in it when she's trying to do it. So she notices that there's something strange, but she doesn't know what it was. And when she actually like opens her eyes again, she's got like a really bad headache, and she's just a little out of it when she is like talking to Johnny and Sethanna back when she brought it back to, essentially. And she's like holding her head like...
Deja vu.
That's what I was about to say. She experiences deja vu while trying to go back in time.
Yeah.
No one else experiences the deja vu?
No, Albert would definitely, or sorry. Yeah, I did it again. Alfred would definitely experience it too. He wouldn't understand it, but he would definitely know that experience has happened. Or like he would have that same deja vu experience.
So
oh God, I have that on a daily basis too. That's an uncomfortable feeling.
We come back to like a minute before the alarm goes off, right? Kind of, or like at the moment the alarm goes off.
So the alarm goes off as Henry reaches that door and he starts to jiggle that door.
Okay.
And he has that moment of like, what the hell's going on? Deja vu, right? So for the rest of you inside of the thing, or inside of the apartment or the office setting, you all experience the same thing. And we're gonna focus back in. So coming back into the way that scene sort of played out, Alfred, this is what you get for playing a different character one day. Alfred, what do you do when you can't get through that door?
He doesn't have to do anything. Morgan remembers and presses a buzzer, and the buzzer goes off to open the door.
He gets panicked that something's not right, that there's danger.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to shove the door, and as she hits the button, the door opens, and he just falls. Oh, well, Jesus Christ. He looks, thank you!
You know that guy?
Yeah, the front door entry opens as well, and Morgan peeks her head out. Sorry, you need to come in here real quick.
All right, Dr. Kane. And he walks in.
Hi, it's you!
And the door closes. You hear a ding from your computer speaker, and that's when you see the motion coming from the elevator.
Right.
Alfred, I know you're here for Sethanna. You're going to have to hold that for about 5 minutes. I have somebody else coming for her to ask her a question. So just, there's coffee and other stuff.
Great, but I saw them walk in. I followed them in.
Yeah, I just don't want them to tear apart my building, so we're just going
to... wait, tear apart with what?
There'll be a helicopter in a few seconds. Sethanna, they just want to talk to you, apparently. So
what?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to make some coffee.
Right.
Dr. Kane, would you like some coffee?
Oh, I'd love some coffee. Yeah, I have a horrible migraine right now.
Okay. Looks at Johnny. No coffee for you because it'll stunt your growth. Ms. Burke.
Yeah?
Would you like a last cup of... a cup of coffee?
I hold up whatever
definitely would trigger
alcohol.
Johnny and Morrigan.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go make some coffee. And he goes into the kitchen. What kind of coffee do you have?
You hear a knock at the door.
I have a bunch of different roasts and an espresso as well.
You hear a knock at the door. They're at the door.
Yeah, I open the door. Gentlemen, please come inside. And please tell your helicopter to chill the fuck out, okay? Great.
We're here for her.
What?
She needs to come with us.
Oh, you're going to ask her questions because the police is actually here for her too, so...
He comes up. He waves. Yeah, no, my jurisdiction trumps yours. Thank you.
If you're going to have a fight, please go ahead and escort yourselves outside of my place and down the elevator outside.
Face danger, all of you.
If I know what they're doing...
you do. You're not. So Legion is not going to affect you because you know what they're doing.
Okay.
I'll tell everyone else. He knows.
He opens his mouth. Wait, they're going to try to wipe your mind.
Except you don't remember that. Stupid deja vu.
I was talking about Johnny.
My face changer. I got impressive ultimate fighter, indomitable parry. Well, not parry. I'm sorry, no parry. And beat them at everything. So 4.
Okay.
I'm going to be using psychology, psychoanalysis, authority, no desire because I know who they're here for, and I think that's it.
I was going to invoke apathetic, but then I realized because of the stop holding back, you definitely have some stakes in the game.
Very
here.
invested in this going not so shitty.
Yes.
Acute senses, animal instincts, pack mentality, and when I'm telling them my jurisdiction trumps theirs, I'm waving my badge.
Okay. So yes, but for Morrigan and Sethanna and for Alfred, you all 3 are going to have to deal with Legion. Just FYI.
Yeah, no, that's
Okay. Just
factoring
making
that in.
sure.
I don't know
All
what
right.
Legion is, so cool.
Legion is a story tag that on the gatekeepers.
So
every
is
time
it
they're
a
in,
minus.
it's just a -1.
Okay.
All right. So great success on Alfred's part.
I'm looking for face danger.
It's okay. Great success on Morrigan's part.
And I still rolled a freaking 1. Screw you, roll 20.
So bones. This is not going to go well for me, and they want me. It's terrible. All right, I'm assume conflicts. Are they on the other side of the door?
No, they're
They're inside.
Yes, they're on the other side. No, they're on the other side
Oh,
of the
they
door.
didn't walk in.
They
Can I
haven't.
click in effects through walls?
No, because
God
you
damn
can
it.
clearly see them.
Fudge. I'd give it a try. Not on a battlefield. That's a negative. I'll mark that one off. Ties of Fortune.
Oh, hold on. Technically, this is a battlefield, but Morgan reversed time. Do you guys think that this still counts as a battlefield?
I think tensions are kind of flared right now.
See, for her, it would. Because if
something's
anything
out
that
of
was a
place.
battlefield. Anything
Like-
that could...
So yeah, and in fact, for Sethanna, time doesn't have the same meaning in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Especially the fact that it doesn't necessarily always flow forward in the way that she perceives things. So yes, it is a battlefield.
Oh, thank God. Ties of Fortune.
Okay.
Can I argue Impenetrable Mind? Because if they're just trying to mess with her...
Yes, you can argue impenetrable mind.
Yay. Don't think Odin's insight would hurt her because I don't think it has anything to do with that. I am wasted, so the flask. I haven't threatened anyone yet.
Okay.
And I don't think drinking her, although I have been drinking her a lot. All right, okay. Let's give this a... Is it face danger? Something like that?
Yep.
Come on. Roll good. Yes. Very nice.
All right. So for each of you, there's a momentary flash, and Johnny kind of remembers what this is like, which is why the whole Legion effect isn't really kind of messing with him right now. And this will not have an impact on you for the rest of the session, although there will be something that we'll have to bring it into play every time moving forward that you guys run into the gatekeepers.
Mm.
So you have this momentary flash that they're not there. Like the door's empty. You're staring at nothing. But you kind of you feel like that is happening, but you're having that same memory also, or you're seeing them right there, and you have this memory that they're not there, and it just kind of fades from you, and you all kind of look, and they look at each other, and they look over at Johnny. She needs to come with us.
Does it?
We don't-
Is
don't
it? Is it
fight.
like? Is it like I'm being drugged?
No,
No.
doesn't
Okay.
feel like you're being drugged. It's not anything that.
No. It's.
It's like your memory is being manipulated. It's not. it's
Yeah.
not
I'm trying to kind of feel like what that would feel like. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So
Did Morrigan already invite them in?
I
Yes.
invited, but they didn't walk in.
The two couches that are together, I'm pulling them apart, and I'm like, no, you guys come and sit down and talk to us. I've been looking for you guys all day.
Wait, why me?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Henry Windsor.
What about him?
Well, Alfred's here about Henry Windsor as well. Look, it could all just wrap
I
itself
pull
up.
out my badge. Yeah, if you have any information on Henry
You
Windsor,
have no authority here. And they continue to engage with Sethanna.
it's my case.
Please don't blow up my goddamn building.
Thump, 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 thump.
What?
There's the helicopter.
What? No,
I
no
know
helicopter. We're not fighting anyone. Don't be cool, man. Can I roll convince?
Well, Sethanna was going to say something, but
Yes,
depending
okay.
upon what Sethanna says, then I will tell you that whether you can convince him or not.
Okay.
Do you just want to talk, or are you taking me somewhere?
We just want to talk.
Where?
Not around them. And he points specifically to Morrigan and Johnny.
I don't think they like us.
Well, you did kick the crap out of them, and it was really cool.
I kind of look over at Sethanna and I said, "Do you really want to go with them?"
I turn and look at him. I look back at them. Are you going to attempt to hurt me, or are we just talking? Are we talking with fists and swords, or are we talking with, words?
We want your help with Henry Windsor.
Okay.
I,
I turn and look back.
I pull out my arrest warrant. I'm sorry, gentlemen, she's not going anywhere. Miss Sethanna Burke, I'm placing you under arrest for accessory after the fact.
No, I don't need 50 of these guys showing up. No, you don't arrest anyone.
Stop.
I'm just doing my job.
I will come.
We just need 5 minutes on the roof.
I will come back, and I will talk to you. And I might even go with you. But this is far more important than that. And I point at the piece of paper. Because I don't care what we do in this life. I'm all about the next and how we get there and where we go. Do not threaten me. I will be back. And then I will go with the grey suit guys.
We'll just enjoy a cup of coffee in the meantime, Alfred. How's about that?
You got 5 minutes.
I'll have as long as it takes.
He pulls out his phone and he clicks on 5 minutes. It's counting down now. And he places the phone down.
So Sethanna steps out with them, and they all kind of walk to the roof access. Pausing that scene for just a second, I'm curious what the conversation is between Johnny and Morrigan in front of Alfred. Specifically because I'm just curious if you share what happened in the dream state last night while Sethanna's gone. And I'm gonna give you a moment to think about that. So we'll come back to that conversation because I'm curious, and then we're gonna step to Sethanna.
I probably wouldn't because Alfred's here. I would tell Johnny that I have a fun story to tell him next time we're at the diner.
Question. Can I smell Derek? Because he was my partner.
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
he might not smell the same. I don't know.
Here's the thing about that. The department is already aware that Derek is in the private care of Morrigan Kane. Mm-hmm. He is paying for his medical bills. She's keeping Catherine Devereaux, who is her direct contact with the force, about the state of Derek and what's going on. So peripherally, you have all this information.
Okay.
And none of that would be suspect to you.
I thought he was still missing and nobody informed him. Okay.
No. So there was a fair bit established at the beginning of last night's episode over on Mike's channel. Okay, so we're gonna cut to Sethanna.
Oh,
what?
I was gonna look at him and be like, "So, are you a regular cop or are you a super cop?"
I look at him, and I kind of like kneel down, like a cop would to a grade schooler. I'm a super cop. And he kind of gives him a wink and then like stands back up.
I just look at Morrigan. I was like, I don't know if he has abilities or not.
I'm gonna go with a yes on that one.
Oh, okay.
If I had to time his ascendance on the stairs, that's a definite yes.
I do a lot of cardio.
And so we're gonna cut to coming out to the roof. You see that the helicopter has started to kind of move over, and he's beginning to land. And so there's a helipad on the roof because Morgan, happens to be in a really nice building.
Mm-hmm.
And the 6 gray suits kind of step up behind you, and they kind of motion just a minute, but they keep their distance, and they don't say anything. They don't really say anything else as this helicopter kind of lands. As you're taking in the scene, you see that the military grade helicopter shimmers a little, like there's something off about it. It's not just it's a helicopter. There's something more there.
Dragons.
You can't quite place it.
It has a minigun, and Keanu Reeves is manning it.
And so,
Thank you, Trindade.
It's kind of lands, and off steps a person dressed in white, glasses, sort of a goatee and beard. What?
Nothing. Carry on.
I'm curious now. You're gonna have to tell me after the fact. Anyways, he kind of steps forward and he says, "Are you Sethanna Burke?"
Who are you?
You can call me Archangel. And he reaches his hand out.
I'll reach my hand out to him too.
And he shakes it. And when you take his hand, you feel just this overwhelming sense of good. And just this overwhelming sense of right and justice and balance.
Who are you? I'm not going to let go of his hand if I sense that.
My job is to make sure that the scales are balanced.
Balanced for who?
For everyone.
Gonna let go of his hand.
The scales are out of balance with Mr. Windsor.
They are.
He has much to make amends for and rectify. I understand that you had a conversation with Oscar Bjorn about said event.
I did. He asked me to keep an eye on him, and I'm going to do what I can, but I can't right now. Not from where he is.
You will be able to soon.
Okay.
We're going to ensure that he comes into your care.
Why do you care so much about him?
It's not necessarily just about him, but you care about him. And rather than us take matters into our own hands, you will be responsible for him and his actions.
After I spoke to Oscar, I was going to do that anyway. Why all this?
Mr. Bjorn represents a family in this city who have their own vested needs and have a personal code, morality, however you wish to seek it. You are connected to him, but stand separate because of your connection with Mr. Windsor. So, in the light of that, we feel that it is on you to take responsibility for the actions that you had participated in with Mr. Windsor and bring him back into balance. So, interesting thing about this scene as it's happening, the world is quiet around you. You can't hear the blades turning slightly above you. You can't hear the rushing of the wind. It's very quiet.
I have 2 questions. Who's we? And what is this?
The answer to your first question will become obvious soon, but I will tell you this. Our best interest is for everyone in this city. We represent everyone, not just the individuals. And to restore balance, we need help with those individuals that are out of sorts. Mr. Windsor is one of those.
I'm guessing before you have to take them out now.
Before we have to reclaim him, yes.
Okay. And this? She looks around.
This is one of the benefits of my position. You can ask more questions about it. I'll be happy to share a little bit more. But it's how are you gonna...
Your position?
As I said, that will become more clear very soon. But for now, this is just one of the perks.
Okay. Do I get these perks one day?
That's not up to me.
I'm gonna ask, but I have a feeling I know the answer. Who's that down to?
He smiles and he says, Calvin Gannicus.
All right. Good to know. Well, shit. I will get Henry back on the path because I was asked to, because I wanted to. But if you're playing some sort of long game, I'm not interested. I just want to get by, be whatever I am. So don't play games like this.
Miss Burke.
Indicates the guys behind us.
Miss Burke. There is no normal. There is no just get by anymore. The rules have changed.
How?
Because they have. You can either be responsible for Mr. Windsor, or he can be reclaimed. We honestly don't want to hurt him or you or anybody else. We have others that we are currently concerned about. Mr. Windsor appears to be a minor case in comparison to Mr. Bishop.
Anyway. Well.
That name would strike you because it had come up with Morrigan, just in conversation. Yeah.
Well, coincidence of coincidences. There's someone downstairs who has a problem with that too. So maybe I can help with that too. Or at least she can.
Miss Kane is a concern for us as well. But only as a counter to only as a counter to Mr. Bishop at this point.
So long as I keep it subtle, they should be fine.
Subtle is not the word I would use. Miss Burke, I must go. This has been a pleasure to meet you. The next time, as you say, I will not send them. But if I do send an invitation, please know that I do indeed want to talk again. and please come. Again, my name is Archangel.
Nice to meet you.
And he begins to step up back on the helicopter. And as he steps back up onto the helicopter, everything sound-wise and the wind and the motion all begins to come into play. And just as the door is closing, he's kind of looking out at you as the helicopter is rising. And he nods, and the helicopter kind of banks. And when you turn back to head back downstairs, expecting to see the gray suited gatekeepers there, they're gone.
And that's when she goes, damn it, I should have asked about those guys.
Do they look like Archangel? Just
That
in
was
suits?
going to be, that was going to be my other question. I thought it would have been obvious at the time, but I didn't want to interrupt.
No.
Okay.
Alfred just sipping his coffee.
Yeah, that's a good cup of coffee.
I look over it
Cameras on the roof.
at Morgan. So can I see him?
Yeah, just try to not wake him up. He's really weak when he's awake.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Did you just hear what Johnny said?
Do you have cameras on the roof?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
You
Johnny.
see you're able to watch the exchange, but for some reason you can't actually hear anything that's said.
Do I recognize the dude since I've been working with Cal?
No.
I've got fucking cameras everywhere, guys.
Okay,
got
I don't
cameras
know.
you
I don't know
wanna
if he's
about.
working with Cal, but I'm like,
No, you would not recognize this guy. You would not know in any of the meetings that you were involved in, where you were providing protection. It was more of sort of like managing avatars in the underworld kind of a conversation.
okay,
Although the Dallas was never at one of those conversations. Just so you know that's going to be established.
Guys,
Okay.
This is not okay.
I'm
I'm
drinking
sweating.
and heading back down.
Okay, and so as she kind of comes back in, you see that there's the gaunt sort of look on her face of just what's just happened. I don't think Henry probably saw what was going on because I'm not sure he
Alfred.
was aware. Or
Because
sorry,
he's in
Alfred was
prison,
aware.
That's why he didn't see what's going on.
Oh, shut
He's
the
in
hell up.
fucking prison.
God damn it.
He's shaking somebody right now. He's shivving people, vining people up
I
and
imagine
shit.
that's like a Ghost Rider situation where he's like, "You
It
lost
is.
here with them," and he's like blowing up or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
What about down into the apartment?
Henry goes into Derek's room. He kneels by the bed.
Alfred.
Alfred, thank you. God, motherfucker.
Albert?
Fuck, motherfucker. He's like, hey there. Hey, bud. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, you're sleeping. Kind of sniffs him. Anything unusual about his smell?
He smells sick.
Yeah, you're sick. Yeah. Hey, I actually have something here for you. And he goes into his wallet, and he pulls out this picture of two uniformed cops, and place it right on his side table. Does he have a side table? Okay.
Yeah.
He places it on the side table.
It's a full bedroom.
And he's like, just in case you wake up, and just to let you know I was here. I was thinking about you. And he walks away, and the two uniformed cops are younger Alfred and younger Derek from when they were in the academy.
I was just going to say, does it go all the way back to the academy days?
Yeah, he was his mentor. Like, he was the oldest of the two, kind of deal. So
Okay.
looked out for him. So he's looking out for him, kind of deal. And he comes back. He's like, all right. Thank you, Dr. Kane. Sorry to do this. I'm going to have to take Ms. Burke here.
Actually, I said I'd come down and talk to you.
Please don't make me bring out the manacles, Ms. Burke.
talk to my lawyer.
I
I'm
have.
not coming with you. I will talk about Henry, but I am not going to jail right now. I have something to do.
That's not going to work for me.
Well, tough. And I'm gonna make to go.
He's going to race her to the door. Ms. Burke, you're under arrest. And he pulls out the handcuffs. I'm going to place them on you.
No, you're not.
And
I
he
will come talk with you, but I am not going to jail right now. So we shall do this outside and not inside this lovely woman's apartment.
yes, but you're either coming with me or I'm putting the cuffs on you.
You can come with me downstairs.
With the cuffs.
Oh, you should hold on to those cuffs. You might need them.
He reluctantly goes with her, kind of furs up a little bit, just in case.
And so I'm assuming that Sethanna and Alfred step out of Morrigan's apartment.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll follow them in just a second. The door closes. Johnny and Morrigan are left alone.
Johnny,
Hi.
when I imagined our reunion, all of what happened is not something that I had foresaw. It's definitely one for the books, as they say.
Well, a lot of gray suit people. A lot of gray
You
suit
have
people.
no idea at all. You know, my apartment was blown up. Yeah, like 15 minutes ago. Yeah, but it's not now, obviously. Anyway, we got stories. We got lots of stories to tell.
Yeah.
Do you have some time? I'm not going anywhere.
I look at my watch. I'm like, yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna catch Johnny up on like all the shit that happened. Basically, like I'm gonna tell him about what happened with Derek, so he has a little bit more understanding around that whole situation. I'm gonna tell him about our little excursion yesterday with the dream sequences and all that stuff. So yeah.
You see Johnny.
Specifically noting the Kraken. Yes.
Yeah. He's like taking a drink of water when you mention it, and as you mention the tentacles in the ocean, you see his eyes like open up, and they look like there's like storms inside of them, and he just and he's like, oh. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
Don't worry. Broken glass is so much easier to deal with than... Never mind.
Yeah. And he just starts thinking about the whirlpool, and he doesn't know why.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we sort of fade on that scene, and we cut down to downstairs, down at the bottom of the elevator, coming out into the lobby of Morrigan's building, are Sethanna and Alfred.
You're coming with me. No, I'm not taking no for an answer.
We need to go somewhere quiet, and I will tell you everything. I didn't want to do it up there because I don't know how messy this is going to get.
You're coming with me, and we're going to go in an interview room.
No.
Yes.
Can't do this in an interview room. I saw you do the weird fur thing. I know you're a champion or a superhero or whatever the hell.
What the fuck are you talking about? And he's like Sethanna Burke, and he kind of pushes her against the wall. And
as soon as he touches her, I'm gonna give him everything from the moment of the library up to now.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So as you've pushed her against the wall to kind of, to put her in a situation to hold her so that you can start to put the cuffs on. as you're touching her to do that, your world falls apart.
As that happens, he starts to lose control and he starts shifting into a loop-garou. Because he's no longer in control. Whole thing about his shifting is he keeps control.
Right.
So now he's going full werewolf.
You lose control. And what happens to Sethanna? Like, does he attack her directly, or is it just he's in this blind rage?
He's in a blind rage.
And so what happens when he goes in that blind rage?
He kind of like places a clawed hand across Sethanna, and he's like, "No, her," and then he starts barreling out of the door, crashing out of the front of the building, down the alleyway from where he came.
As he's starting to barrel through Sethanna, how do you respond to that? As he just kind of like he shifts and he immediately runs, how do you respond?
I'm gonna watch him leave. I'm gonna send a... Yeah, I'm just gonna watch him leave, and then I'm gonna call the precinct.
And so he starts barreling out. You're kind of watching this as you hear a crash. You start to hear a scream as somebody notices, but you hear a crash, and there is this huge car crash that has happened outside of Morrigan's building. As all the attention seems to go on this, as Alfred barrels outside and then down an alley and disappears into the night. And as you kind of fade, we see Sethanna kind of looking at the car crash and looking at where the path that Alfred is taking and looking back at the car crash and just the confusion on her face as we kind of fade out. And that's where we'll end it.
Awesome.
Fantastic, guys. We're going to wrap it up real quick. So, rapid fire, tell me who you are, where we can find you, and then we're going to get the hell out of here because Johnny has to go to a movie. Go! Starting with me. I'm Metamancer. You can find me on Metamancer. Twitch, yes. Okay, bye. It's fine.
I'm Volonda. You'll find me on Twitter at blood_BTP. Go.
Hi, McLoken. You can find me at twitch.tv/McLoken and at McLoken on Twitter. And yeah.
Hey guys, my name's Zippo. You can find me here on Twitch at Zippy_Zippo. I do a whole bunch of other things. Okay, goodbye.
Hi, my name is Johnny. I am VideoStoreCowboy. I'm the GM for this thing, and you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/VideoStoreCowboy. I want to say one thing real quick, guys. It was a very different episode tonight. Really awesome, great storytelling. I actually want to see Alfred again in this context. This is going to get really interesting. I have some ideas. Awesome game, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Have a wonderful evening. I'm just going to cut it here. Like the stream is literally just going to shut off. So have a good one, and we'll see you next time on 6 and 20 Metropolis. Bye-bye.
Bye.